One Piece. TikTok invasion. The 5 elder stars clamor for a 5-man team. Chapter 1. Name: Ron. Gender: male. Origin: East Blue. Position: candidate for admiral at naval headquarters. Charge: shirking duty during combat, indirectly causing serious injuries to celestial dragons Saint Nastero and Saint Charlos, severe dereliction of duty, and absence without leave. Sentence: stripped of all positions, powers, wealth, etc., expelled from the Navy, never to be rehired. Execute immediately. Date: Marine calendar year 1520. High above, white clouds stretched for thousands of miles. A motorboat flew at a steady pace, clearly marked with large letters, "We News." This was the mobile news headquarters of Morgan's, the power behind the World Economic Journal. Ha ha ha, Ron, I can't believe those guys in the Navy kicked you out. Morgan's laughed, a hint of mockery in his tone. You were the strongest fighter in the Navy, and they fired you for slacking off. Has old man Sengoku gone senile? What are your plans next? How about joining me, Morgan's, and creating news that will shake the whole world? With that, Morgan's plopped down on a lounge chair, leisurely puffing on a cigar, his eyes fixed on Ron, who was slowly savoring his red wine. Ron's expression remained unchanged, as if he hadn't heard Morgan speak, still carefully tasting the red wine in his glass. Hey, Ron, don't think I won't kick you off just because I owe you a huge favor. Seeing Ron completely unresponsive, Morgan's couldn't help but raise his voice. Seeing Ron still silent, Morgan's became furious. Ever since he rescued this guy from the comm belt, he had been like this, silent, not saying a word, as if he had suffered a great shock. Ron, although your combat power reached the peak of the Navy, that was over 10 years ago. Now you're 47, almost 50, and full of illnesses. Listen to my advice, stop messing around, and just rest and enjoy your twilight years, okay? Morgan sighed, shaking his head as he looked at Ron. This guy's life was a legend in the entire Navy, but he was expelled just because some celestial dragons got hurt. Where's the justice in that? Ron, listen to your little brother's advice. There are countless pirates across the sea who want your life. Before, the Navy's intimidating reputation shielded you temporarily. But now you're in your twilight years, your body is frail and riddled with illnesses. You can't even cross the comm belt anymore, so what's the point of stirring things up? This is good enough. Tomorrow I'll publish a newspaper saying you're dead, and then help you find a quiet little island to recuperate in your later years. Nobody will bother you. How does that sound? Morgan's chattered on, not feeling annoyed at all. After muttering for a long time, he finally looked up and found that Ron had actually fallen asleep. Quote. I must owe you in this life. Morgan's shook his head helplessly. Think about it carefully, tell me tomorrow morning. He grumbled under his breath but still quietly walked out of the lounge and carefully closed the door, leaving Ron alone to rest inside. Ron on the sofa was breathing steadily, his eyes closed, but he wasn't asleep. He was closing his eyes, recalling his truly extraordinary life, and a slight smile suddenly curled at the corner of his mouth. He was a transmigrator. 47 years ago, his soul traveled into the body of a newborn baby who had been abandoned. He almost froze to death in the wilderness, but luckily, he cried loudly, otherwise, he would have died right after transmigrating. After that, he was raised by an ordinary Marine. After his adoptive father died, he also joined the Navy. In the pirate world at that time, Luffy hadn't been born yet. Several times when he went out to sea, he faced notorious great pirates, Rocks, Roger, Shiki, Whitebeard, Wang Ji, Captain John, and more. He also grew step by step from an unknown nobody to a candidate for admiral, and was even internally designated as a full admiral, with combat power reaching the peak of the Navy. Such strength was terrifying. It could be said that the Navy saw him as a monster, and pirates wanted him dead. As for the celestial dragons, he killed them too, but always in secret. He just didn't expect those 2 guys to get lucky this time and survive, which led to his punishment. Fortunately, his contributions were great, preventing those people from killing him directly, only expelling him from the Navy. How boring. Cough 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 cough. The illness flared up again. The violent coughing kept him wide awake. He then picked up the newspaper on the table and started reading. The most eye-catching thing was the expulsion order regarding him on the front page. Time flies so fast. It's already year 1520. So, I guess I'm considered an old man in the pirate world now. 47 years have passed in the blink of an eye. He murmured softly. I'm probably the most tragic transmigrator. I didn't even get the standard system, I completely relied on myself to reach the peak step by step. It was too difficult. No one helped me achieve my lofty ambitions, so I trod through the snow to the mountain peak myself. Ron took several more large gulps of wine, and his expression gradually became lonely. The pirate world was full of brutality, bloodshed, and war. Arson, killing, looting, and pillaging were happening every moment. He wondered when this place would become peaceful and comfortable like China where he lived before. Moreover, life in the Navy was very monotonous. Besides killing pirates, he was killed by pirates. He was either fighting or on his way to fight. He was tired of such a life. Being expelled now was a relief, but in the future, he would face pursuit from tens of thousands of pirates. With his current terrible body. Cough, 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 cough. Another violent fit of coughing. Ron felt like his lungs were about to cough out. Excessive training had led to the exhaustion and premature decline of his physical functions, making him far less capable than before. And you always have to pay the price for what you get. You get something, you have to give something in return. Everything you can't see has already been clearly priced. This world is too boring. It would be great if something interesting happened. I've fought pirates my whole life, shouldn't I enjoy myself a bit? He muttered softly. Ding. Detected that the host has matched the secret code, the God-level entertainment system is unlocked. Binding in progress. Binding successful. Since the host has delayed unlocking the system for 47 years, the system is specially gifting a beginner's gift package, enhanced version. Would you like to open the beginner's gift package, enhanced version? Looking at the illusory light blue screen in front of him, Ron's brain froze. He stared blankly at everything, and only after a long while did he come back to his senses. Delayed unlocking for 47 years. Holy crap. Ron was enraged, almost choking on his breath. Cough, 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 cough. I've never heard of needing a secret code to unlock a system. I'm about to die, what's the point of you showing up now? Cough, 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 cough. And a God-level entertainment system, so I can be entertained for 2 years and then die, right? Please open the beginner's gift package, enhanced version as soon as possible. It will be considered forfeited if not opened within 3 minutes. I'll open it. Ron took a deep breath, trying to relax himself. He took another deep breath and relaxed. Even being entertained for a few years was better, it was much more interesting than dying alone. Beginner's gift package, enhanced version. Package 1. Life Energy Fluid. After use, it can restore physical functions to their peak, removing all illnesses, hidden ailments, and internal injuries. Package 2. World Network Coverage. A God-level virtual entertainment network covering the entire world. Package 3. Spatial Channel Activated. Items can be transported through the spatial channel. Package 4. The host will receive 20% of the profits from all entertainment projects. Listening to the system's voice in his mind, he then saw a tube of green life potion quietly lying next to the red wine, emitting a rich vitality. Just by smelling the scent, Ron felt his breathing become much smoother. Ron took a deep breath, picked up the green potion on the table, his heart filled with excitement. He hadn't expected the system, though late, to give him something so real. One shot of potion can restore all vital functions, remove all illnesses, and hidden ailments. Ron murmured to himself, only a system could produce something this good. Without hesitation, Ron opened the potion and tilted his head back to drink it. As the potion went down his throat, a cool, refreshing sensation, like bathing in a mountain spring breeze, spread through him. His body felt like a dried-up river, now nourished by a mighty current, and the small fish at the bottom, almost dead from thirst, were revitalized. Warm currents flowed throughout his body, reaching every limb and bone, and the illnesses that had plagued him for years instantly vanished without a trace. He immediately felt incredibly light, as if a great mountain had been lifted from him. Awesome! Ron roared excitedly, then his gaze fell back on the light blue screen, and he began to study the system. Outside, Morgans, who was fabricating tomorrow's news, was startled by Ron's sudden shout. However, thinking of Ron's situation, Morgan sighed. No matter what the outcome would be tomorrow, he would help Ron live out his remaining years peacefully. Everyone, keep working. Tomorrow's headline. Heartless Marine Headquarters, Admiral fired for slacking. Boss, what does slacking mean? Inside the room, Ron had figured out the function of the God-tier entertainment system. It was very simple: provide entertainment. However, looking at the system store, he was a bit confused. There was only one item in the store: a mobile phone. Brand model: Voyage Generation 1. Feature: automatically adapts to the user's body size. Price: 1 berry. Note: cannot be transported, bought, or sold through system channels. Any cheating behavior will result in the confiscation of all gains. As for other items, they were temporarily unavailable. Yes, just temporarily unavailable. But the system clearly stated the purpose of entertainment value: it could upgrade the store. Presumably, after the store upgraded, there would be more entertainment options. As for obtaining entertainment value, it was simple: for every user who used a mobile phone, he would gain 1 point of entertainment value. In that case, accumulating it would be quite fast. Next, Ron's gaze fell on the system store. Could this phone be the same kind as in my previous life? Ron was a little skeptical, and he happened to have a 1 berry coin in his pocket. How do I top this up? Place it below the phone and say, top up how many berries? Hearing the system's explanation, Ron did as instructed: top up 1 berry. A black hole suddenly appeared above the 1 berry coin and instantly swallowed it. At the same time, Ron's system store balance became 1 berry. That convenient. Ron rummaged through Morgan's drawer and, after much effort, found a 10,000 berry banknote. He placed it below the phone. Top up 10,000 berries. Immediately after, the 10,000 berries disappeared, and the system store balance became 10,001 berries. It worked. It must be using spatial transmission capabilities. System: buy 1 phone first. As the store balance decreased by 1, a basketball-sized black hole appeared above the table in front, and then a mobile phone dropped from the black hole. Ron quickly reached out to catch it and looked at it in shock. It really is a mobile phone. For someone from Earth who hadn't seen a mobile phone in over 40 years, his current mood was more excited than seeing 100 bikini-clad beauties running towards him. Its size was the same as a normal mobile phone, and it could even automatically change size according to the user's body shape. This was simply too user-friendly. Otherwise, how people with huge bodies like Kaido, Whitebeard, and the Giant Tribe would use a mobile phone would be a troublesome matter. Moreover, it was ultra-thin and extremely hard. Ron tried, and with his strength, he couldn't bend it. He then used armament hockey, and still couldn't bend it. Conqueror's hockey coating plus armament hockey, still couldn't bend it. So hard, Ron exclaimed. This way, he didn't have to worry about the phone being damaged. As for waterproofing and the like, there was no need to worry. The entire phone was integrated, there were no seams to be found. Even the power button area seemed naturally formed, perfectly fitted. Products from the system are indeed top-notch. Then, Ron skillfully peeled off the film and turned it on. The phone automatically connected to the world network. But Ron noticed that there was no battery level displayed in the top bar. The phone doesn't use power. What happens if the power runs out? The system's electronic explanation sounded in his mind. Voyage Generation 1 utilizes quantum battery technology and can be used continuously for 1,000 years. 1,000 years. On Earth, this could be a family heirloom, Ron joked. Without the worry of battery life, Ron swiped left and right and found that the entire phone had only one app, Doing. As for Green Bubble, Little Penguin, text messages, and so on, there were none. It was very clean, even cleaner than being infected with a virus. So clean, even hackers would cry. Ron had planned to play some games or watch some movies. After all, he hadn't played games or watched movies in over 40 years. Before, without a phone, he didn't feel much, but after getting a phone, he didn't want to wait a second longer. Forget it, scrolling through videos is fine too. Then Ron clicked on the Doing icon. It was the familiar opening screen, a large musical note, no ads, quite clean. But after entering, he found that it was even cleaner inside than outside. It was empty, not a single video. At first, Ron thought there was a network problem, but after he posted a video himself, he found that the network speed was faster than the conceptual god Cao Cao from his previous life. From this, it could be concluded that it was definitely not a network problem, so the problem could only be. Ron suddenly had a bad feeling, and then he tried and found that his guess was true. So I'm the only one on the entire Doing app. I'm watching myself film myself. What kind of entertainment is this? Ron cursed and exited Doing, starting to explore other functions of the phone. Finally, he concluded that, except for not being able to make calls or send texts, it had all the basic functions of a proper mobile phone, such as taking photos, recording videos, and posting videos. However, there was no web browsing function, because no one had built any web pages to browse. Currently, the only entertainment option was the Douyin app. Wait, the first user of Douyin in my previous life might have thought the same thing. It was only later, when there were more users, that Douyin became all-encompassing. That is to say, I can let many people use mobile phones, register on Douyin, and entertain themselves together. I can also accumulate entertainment value and upgrade the system store. Moreover, Ron believed that since the system even had a green potion that could cure all diseases, it must have other incredible things. This world really needs to change. Looking at the phone in his hand, the corners of Ron's mouth curved slightly. Roger, the great pirate era you started is about to be turned into the great entertainment era by me. Hehehehe. The pirate world is too violent and bloody. The anime only portrays the happy, passionate side, just the tip of the iceberg. But a little thought is enough to guess how bad this world is, with its emphasis on pirates and its hypocritical, corrupt marines. Ron had wanted to change this world before, by killing celestial dragons and killing pirates, but the effect was minimal. Now that he had the god-tier entertainment system, why be a pirate? Go watch videos, play games, and watch movies. Even the smartest college students in the 21st century couldn't escape the temptation of mobile phones. Does the mere pirate world think it can escape mobile phones? When mobile phones consume all your daily time, let's see when you'll have time to be pirates. Ha 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 ha, I'm a genius. Immediately after, Ron directly purchased 10,000 mobile phones. Clatter. 10,000 mobile phones were thrown out of the black hole, landing on the table and piling up into a small mountain. The already small lounge was also packed full, with barely any room to stand. Such a huge noise startled Morgans, who was outside fabricating the news draft, once again. Could it be that Ron, enraged by being expelled from the Marines, was going to dismantle his airship to vent his anger? Thinking of this, Morgans couldn't write another word. He turned around and angrily kicked open the door to the lounge. Ron, you can do anything, just don't dismantle my. Just as Morgans was about to beg Ron not to dismantle his airship in anger, he suddenly noticed the ground littered with rectangular bricks. He paused, then asked in confusion, Ron, where did you get so many bricks? And they're so thin, they're useless for building houses. He picked up a phone and examined it from all sides, as if studying a strange object. But this thing feels just right in the hand, it'd be pretty good for smacking people like a brick. As he spoke, Morgans actually tried to bite the phone with his beak. Be careful not to chip your teeth. Ron chuckled, then continued to tidy up the phones scattered everywhere, arranging them neatly on the table. Although a single phone wasn't large, 10,000 of them filled the entire table, stacking up to the height of a regular water cup. Ron, what exactly is this thing? And you're in a much better state than before, like a completely different person. Morgans looked at the brick in his hand with curiosity, noticed a button, and pressed it as if compelled. At the same time, Ron's voice came through. This is a phone, it's a good thing. It lit up. It lit up. It's not going to explode, is it? Morgans suddenly exclaimed, nearly dropping the phone. Don't worry, it's not a bomb. Hearing Ron say this, Morgans finally relaxed and observed the phone with curiosity, but couldn't make anything out of it. Ron looked at Morgan's curious expression and smiled too. It's normal that you don't know, I'll teach you how to use it in a bit. He then remembered this guy's ability to communicate with birds and make them work for him. The newspaper's distribution relied on carrier pigeons, able to reach every corner of the sea. In that case, he could use Morgans to sell the phones all over the world and quickly increase the user base. Then, Ron took out his own phone and taught him step by step. Morgans, first of all, this isn't a brick, it's not food, it's a phone, an entertainment product. This button on the side is the power button, it's also the shutdown button. Just long press it to turn it on or off. You try it. Morgans nodded and asked again, I know that, but what's that icon that looks like a musical note? He pointed to the Douyin app on the phone screen, somewhat curious. The icons on the phone are collectively called apps, and they're also a form of entertainment, Ron explained slowly and patiently. After all, Morgans was his first user. Tap on it, and I'll teach you how to register. Although there were no SIM cards in the world of pirates, registering for doing still required real name verification, which could avoid a lot of trouble. Soon, Morgans successfully registered, becoming the first doing user besides Ron. Ron also introduced the basic function of doing, which was watching videos, but there were no videos to watch yet, so they could only do something else for now. Ron, how did you get in there? Morgan scrolled to Ron's video. Actually, it was hard not to scroll to it, because currently the entire doing library only contained Ron's one video. Quote. I told you that's the video I filmed. I want one too. Saying this, Morgans pointed the camera at his large bird face and, under Ron's guidance, also filmed and uploaded a video. Alright, stop playing for now. Ron interrupted Morgan's desire to keep filming videos. First, follow me. If you need anything later, you can send me a private message or video call directly, but don't harass me. Private message, video call, what are those things? Morgan scratched his head. His brain couldn't process so many new things at once. Quote. Half an hour later, Morgans understood how to use doing, his face full of novelty. Huh. Ron, why isn't this profile picture my photo? I want to use my handsome picture. Simple, just open the camera, flip the lens, take a photo, and upload it. What? Say that slower. Quote. First, open the camera. This thing, a phone can be used as a camera too. Only then did Ron remember that he had just taught Morgans how to use doing, not how to use the phone itself. He ended up spending another 10 minutes teaching Morgans the basic functions of a phone. After understanding the basic functions of the phone, Morgans was completely stunned, then started shouting excitedly, "Why didn't you take out this good stuff earlier? What our newspaper agency lacks is phones. Not only can I take photos anytime, anywhere, without needing film. I can even record videos. Oh my god, it's unbelievable." In his excitement, Morgans opened the camera and took 70 or 80 photos of himself with a click sound, until he chose a satisfactory selfie to use as his doing profile picture. What more could Ron say? He was also depressed. Who knew unlocking the system required a secret code? If he hadn't gotten tired of fighting, he might not have been able to unlock the system even until his death. You're amazing, Ron, how did you do all this? Morgans took photos everywhere in disbelief. It was so small and portable, and the key was that he didn't even need to change film to record first-hand news. It was simply a reporter's divine tool. You've been hiding this from your brother for so long. Morgan's large bird eyes stared intently at Ron, as if trying to see right through him. Quote. Would you believe me if I said this is my ability? Ron scratched his head, unsure how to explain. What? Morgans shrieked, as if his tail had been stepped on, pointing at Ron and shouting in panic, "Didn't you say you wouldn't eat a devil fruit? How did you suddenly eat a devil fruit?" Ron, he believed that. Perfect, he was too lazy to explain anyway, so he casually came up with an excuse to fob him off. After so many years, I never knew what a devil fruit tasted like. Dying like that would be a bit of a regret, so I ate one. But devil fruits are really disgusting, absolutely vile. Ron pretended to feel nauseous and about to vomit, which secretly delighted Morgans. Ha, Ron, can you give me a few more of these phones, so my employees can each have one? Morgans didn't forget the main point and quickly looked at Ron. After all, if each of his employees had a phone, they could film a large amount of first-hand news, and his newspaper agency's influence would be even greater. Ron knew Morgans would say this, so he pretended to hesitate for a moment before agreeing. No problem, what are friends for? Hearing this, Morgans was overjoyed. He reached out and grabbed dozens of phones, holding them in his arms and cackling with glee. However, these phones are quite valuable. Even with our relationship, you'll have to pay. 100 belly per phone should be fine. 100 belly. Morgans was dumbfounded, looking at Ron in shock. He had thought that high-tech phones like these would cost at least 10,000 belly, but he never expected them to be so cheap. Ron, you don't need to pity me, I'm not short on money. I'm really not pitying you. I'm not getting rich by selling phones, and besides, what use is money to me? Morgan suddenly fell silent for a moment. After a while, he looked up and solemnly stared at Ron. Ron, I won't say anything else. From now on, you're my big brother. Saying this, Morgans ran towards the bed where Ron had been sleeping and, in front of him, pulled out the box from under the bed. This resting room was originally his boss's lounge, and under the bed was where he hid his pocket money. There's 1 billion belly in here, all for buying phones. Can you even use that many? Ron was very surprised, but then realized how thoughtless his question was. Ha ha ha, brother Ron, my employees are spread across half the world. 1 billion belly is only enough to buy 10 million phones, which is nowhere near enough. Ambition burned in Morgan's eyes. My goal is to become the world news king. Ron shrugged, indicating it didn't matter. As long as there's money, my ability can mass-produce phones. First, find a hidden place to land. This place can't hold 10 million phones. Also, I have another condition. Quote. Half a day later, accompanied by the glow of the setting sun, the news agency's airship slowly descended onto a secluded island. According to Morgans, this was a backup island he had scouted long ago, and its concealment was absolutely no problem. Morgans led Ron out of the airship and into a hidden cave. The cave was divided into 8 rooms, 4 of which were filled with food, water, and even fine wine. How about it, Ron? This is one of my backup headquarters. Food, water, and fine wine are all covered, Morgans said proudly, then pointed to the 4 rooms behind them. Those 4 were originally meant for meat, but this island is full of wild beasts, so meat sources are plentiful, making storage unnecessary. Now, they're perfect for storing cell phones. After speaking, Morgans looked at Ron with fervent eyes, as if they could melt him. Brother Ron, hurry up. My 10 million cell phones. It's indeed not bad. Ron also looked at the rooms. The lighting was traditional kerosene lamps, and the cave was dry and well ventilated, making it a good place to store food. Its location was also very secluded. You guard outside. I can't be distracted while using my ability to manufacture cell phones, Ron instructed. Understood, brother Ron, Morgans responded. Then, Ron chose a larger room and walked in. The room was spacious, well ventilated, and dry. He placed the box of 1 billion berries prepared by Morgans on the ground and opened it. System, recharge 1 billion berries. The next moment, a black hole appeared above the 1 billion berries. In an instant, the 1 billion berries vanished before his eyes. Ron quickly looked at the system store. The balance in the upper right corner had indeed become 1 billion berries. System, purchase 100 million cell phones. This time, arrange them properly, don't just throw them around. Ron specifically added this request, otherwise, cell phones would be scattered everywhere, which would be hard for someone with mild obsessive-compulsive disorder to accept. As soon as he finished speaking, a larger black hole suddenly appeared in the upper part of the room. With a flash of light, 100 million cell phones appeared in the room. This time, they weren't placed haphazardly like before, but were neatly stacked, square and orderly. He didn't check. With the system, there shouldn't be any shortages, which was much better. Outside, Morgans waited somewhat anxiously, unsure if Ron could successfully create so many cell phones. Using abilities was very physically demanding for ability users, and Ron's physical condition was very poor. If something unexpected happened, it would be troublesome. Just as Morgan's mind was wandering, Ron's voice came from inside the room. Morgans, you can come in now. Hearing this, Morgans quickly pushed open the door. When he saw the room full of cell phones, he was completely stunned. Is this 10 million cell phones? Morgans exclaimed. You're thinking too much. Ron shattered Morgan's daydream, pointing to the mountain of cell phones. There are 100 million cell phones here, 1/10 of which are yours. Quote. Even though only a portion was his, Morgan's eyes still blazed with fervor. After all, he was completely addicted to the benefits of cell phones. Just the encryption of video and voice calls made him extremely envious. Cell phones were definitely good things. As for whether Ron would know his secrets, what did it matter? He had no secrets from Ron. Moreover, if Ron hadn't intervened that time, he would have died long ago, and there would be no news agency today. Ron saw the fervor in Morgan's eyes and added fuel to the fire. Morgans, how about we cooperate? Cooperate my ass. What's yours is mine and what's mine is yours between us. Just tell me what you want me to do, brother Ron. Morgans looked at Ron with disdain. Every time Ron mentioned cooperation, it was never for a good reason. Last time he asked him to provide information on the celestial dragons, this time he didn't know what it would be. Ron laughed heartily, as if he didn't see Morgans rolling his eyes. You help me sell these cell phones, and we'll split the money we make 50-50. You want to sell such a good thing? Morgans shrieked, somewhat incredulous. Ron nodded solemnly and slowly explained his plan. He didn't hide anything from Morgans. Their years of life and death friendship were enough to prove everything. I want to change this world, just as you want to become the king of news. With this little thing. This thing can't even kill someone if you use it as a brick. Morgans scoffed dismissively. Ron, Morgans, sometimes changing the world doesn't necessarily require force. Sometimes, changing minds works just as well. Morgans scoffed dismissively. Works my ass. Did Joy Boy succeed? He still failed. Wake up, Ron, I think this thing is just for our news agency. Ron realized this silly bird's brain was fried, nothing he said was getting through. Saying this, he rolled up his sleeve, and purple-black armament hockey instantly enveloped his entire fist. Even Conqueror's hockey was wrapped around the outer layer. Brother Ron, I believe it, okay. Morgans was so scared his feathers puffed up, and he quickly agreed. Seeing Morgan's obedient and compliant look, Ron sighed. Indeed, before changing the world, you still need a little bit of force. Finally, Morgans agreed to help Ron sell the cell phones, priced at 100 berries. The two exited the cave one after another, and Ron was also ready to leave and begin the first step of his plan. Morgans, once this batch of cell phones is sold out, just message me, and I'll create another batch for you. Got it. Remember to give people a user manual when selling the phones, and it's best to introduce it when you sell it. Got it. Also, if anyone dares to rob you, you just rob my ass. Who would dare to rob me? I'm one of the emperors of the underworld. That's true. Then I'll be going now. Ron thought there were no omissions, and after impatiently reminding Morgans of a few more things, he got on a small boat and left the island. He was going to find the attractive driving force for doing. Otherwise, even if the cell phones were sold, they wouldn't become people's main entertainment tool. As everyone knows, the most attractive driving force is suggestive content. Being suggestive is fun for a while, being suggestive all the time is always fun. Whether it's pirates, the Marines, or civilians, there are no entertainment activities at all. Only the celestial dragons or nobles have limited entertainment. Therefore, Ron's idea of changing the world through cell phones is absolutely feasible. Just then, the sea surface suddenly exploded, and a giant sea king leapt out of the water. Just as it was about to open its huge mouth to swallow Ron, it was scared into a daze by Ron's single glance. You came at the right time, saves me the trouble of traveling. Ron leapt onto the Sea King's back, pointed in the direction of the calm belt, and said calmly, go in that direction. I'll let you go when we arrive. The Sea King immediately nodded vigorously, then swam towards that direction with all its might. And Ron on its back once again felt the salty sea breeze, feeling a bit emotional. He looked up at the clear blue sky for thousands of miles, and thoughts surged in his heart. He thought his life was over, but unexpectedly, he unlocked the divine entertainment system and gained the power to change the world. It's been 17 years since I last saw that little girl, I wonder if she still remembers me. The next day, Amazon Lily, an island inhabited solely by women, is the daughter country ruled by Boa Hancock, one of the Shichibukai, and also the headquarters of the 9 snake pirates. Trees stand tall, the greenery is lush, wild beasts roar, and the scenery is quite pleasant. However, the island is located in the calm belt, a sea area that is an excellent habitat for sea kings, so its beautiful appearance does not guarantee safety. A group of scantily clad women were carrying a huge wild beast they had just hunted, happily making their way back. The island is all women, and outside there's the calm belt mode, so there's no need to be particular about clothing, almost everyone wears bikinis. Sisters, this big wild boar is enough for us to eat for several days. We're tired of eating meat. When can we eat some delicious food from outside? You, don't think such thoughts. Be careful, the Empress might kick you out. HMPH. The Empress wouldn't do that. She's the best Empress. Quote. When they reached the entrance, they suddenly found a man standing before them. That's right, a man. Muscular, tall, mysterious. You, who are you? How did you get here? A man. How can there be a man on our island? Sisters, come quickly. There's a man here. Quote. In an instant, all the women started chattering, as if they had seen the most novel thing in the world, surrounding Ron, who had just arrived on the island, completely. However, they immediately notified the Empress's 3 sisters. Hey, hey, hey. Don't touch me randomly, little girls. Ron quickly took a step back, avoiding a grab. This made the women of the daughter country even more curious and excited. Ah, it's a man who can talk. Sisters, catch him. Don't let him run away. That's right, all men should be captured. Saying this, these women were about to rush forward and tie Ron up. What a hassle. Ron shook his head, and Conqueror's hockey was silently released. Buzz. Everyone's steps halted, and they felt an invisible mountain descend from the sky, pressing down on their heads. Before long, their foreheads were covered in large beads of sweat, and even standing became incredibly difficult. Just then, an angry roar came from inside the main gate. Impudent. Who dares to act against my 9 snake pirates? Big sister, let me take care of this guy. Subsequently, they saw 2 snakes, one green and one yellow, rush out from the gate. Their snake eyes were filled with killing intent, and they harbored a deep hatred for men. Boa Sandersonia, Boa Marigold, have you 2 sisters forgotten me? A calm voice echoed in the air, causing the 2 figures to suddenly freeze. Hancock also walked out quickly. Seeing the figure of the man before her, her delicate body trembled violently. R.O. Ron Sama. Our benefactor. It's our benefactor. The 2 sisters shed their abilities and returned to their original forms, running towards Ron. Hancock saw Ron had already run towards him first. Despite the citizens of the daughter country watching, she threw herself into Ron's arms without any hesitation. This was only because Ron had descended from the sky when she was most helpless and desperate, not only saving her but also giving her the courage to live. Ron Sama, have you finally come to see me? Hancock cried loudly, tears streaming down uncontrollably, soaking Ron's chest. 17 years, I've waited for you for 17 years. Ron was at a loss for words for a moment, not expecting the plot from the anime to actually happen. It seemed that Hancock had truly fallen in love with him. However, when he saved Hancock back then, she was only 12 years old. Facing a little girl, he had no other thoughts, he merely saved her conveniently and didn't ask for anything in return. If it weren't for needing the edgy motivation, perhaps he would never have come here in this lifetime. Ah, Hancock, I've been a bit busy lately so. Ah, Ron Sama truly cares about me. Were you just thinking about how to explain to me? Hancock looked at Ron with affectionate eyes. Ron was held by Hancock like this, feeling a bit helpless and at a loss, so he could only shamelessly nod. Yes, I was trying to explain. I knew it. A blush flew across Hancock's pretty face, and she lowered her head shyly, fiddling with her slender fingers. This is a proposal. I'm not ready yet. Ron froze for a moment. A proposal? What is she doing? Stop overthinking. No, Hancock, you've misunderstood. I came to see you this time because I need your help. As soon as she heard he needed help, Hancock's pretty face turned even redder. Help? You need my help. Ron Sama truly needs me. Ron. The 2 sisters had a look of watching a show, but they still spoke up in time. Benefactor, we've all seen the expulsion order about you. I said long ago that those Marine guys are a bunch of hypocrites. That's right. If the Marine doesn't want you, we 9 Snake Island want you. From now on, you'll be with us, eating well and living comfortably. Hancock was also furious about this matter, her pretty face covered in frost. Ron Sama, I will definitely stand by your side. I'll go to war with the Marine right now. Ron felt a headache coming on and quickly restrained the 3 sisters' tendency to fight at the drop of a hat. Let's find a quiet place to talk. I have something good to give you. Inside the Empress's palace, the moment Ron took out his phone, the 3 sisters were all stunned. Ron Sama, is this the good thing you mentioned? Boa Sandersonia was the first to speak, her tone carrying a hint of doubt. It doesn't look like anything special. Could it be a brick hidden weapon? Boa Marigold teased. I'm also very curious. Ron Sama, tell us quickly. Hancock, on the other hand, looked more expectant, watching the phone in Ron's hand without blinking. Ron smiled. This is a phone. You can think of it as a high-tech product. Saying this, he pressed a button on the side, and the phone screen lit up. Oh, this thing glows. Sandersonia asked in surprise. Phone. Is it called a phone because it's a machine held in the hand? Marigold said thoughtfully. It's amazing. What does this thing do? Hancock leaned closer curiously, clearly intrigued. Ron then opened TikTok, but unexpectedly, the first video he scrolled to was Morgan's huge bird face. There was absolutely no filming technique, it was just a direct close-up, incredibly ugly. It even startled the three sisters. "Ah, who is this ugly guy? He scared me to death," Sandersonia exclaimed. "A birdman, Ron-sama, how can there be a birdman inside this thing?" Marigold also looked disgusted. Quote. Ron felt a headache again. "Don't worry yet, this is just a video Morgan's filmed and uploaded to TikTok, which is why we can see it. If you scroll down, there are my videos too." But the more Ron scrolled, the bigger his headache became, because after scrolling over a dozen times, he found they were all Morgan's videos. How many videos did this guy post in one night? Alright, let me first explain what TikTok is, and then how to use TikTok in the phone. Ron decided to start with the basics. The three sisters nodded obediently, listening carefully as Ron explained step by step, and helping him register a TikTok account. Afterward, Ron let them explore on their own and ask him if they didn't understand anything. Meanwhile, Hancock immediately followed Ron and learned how to send private messages. Ron-sama heart Hancock. She sent a string of over a dozen times and still wasn't satisfied, also liking many videos. Ron watched the continuous private message notifications popping up on the phone screen, the corner of his mouth twitching slightly, and he shook his head helplessly. What's going on? Ron heard his phone ringing incessantly, feeling a bit flustered. Could something have happened to that guy Morgan's? He quickly opened TikTok, only to find his backend private messages showing 99+. Clicking into the messages, he realized they were all sent by Hancock. They were full of dense heart emojis, and content like, Ron Heart Hancock. My goodness, what exactly is this girl trying to do? Hancock, stop sending me private messages. This is harassment, you know. Ron finally couldn't stand it and told Hancock to stop. Ah, Ron-sama, could it be that you don't like me anymore? After being discovered, Hancock immediately became pitiful, giving Ron a headache. He couldn't stand women acting coy, especially beautiful women. Quote. My point is, send fewer private messages unless it's important. If we miss something important, it'll be too late, Ron explained helplessly. Alright, Hancock nodded obediently. As long as Ron-sama asks, I will definitely do it. Afterward, the two sisters, Boa Sandersonia and Marigold, also learned how to use phones and had mastered the basic techniques for filming TikTok videos. Ron took a look and was immediately surprised, because he found that the two sisters' videos actually had camera movements. No, how did you guys film these camera movements? Ron couldn't help but ask. Just like this, Sandersonia said, demonstrating it again. She transformed her snake tail, hooked the phone, and began 360 degrees omnidirectional camera movement filming, even speeding up and slowing down at times. Several times in between, she fell from a high place, but she caught it steadily and continued filming. After adding beauty filters and effects, a living, breathing beauty was born. Ron's idea was simple. First teach the three of them, and then have the three of them teach the others in daughter country. There are many beauties in daughter country. What's shown in the anime is just the tip of the iceberg. It's important to know that although the two sisters' appearances are not great normally, that is not their original appearance at all. Zone devil fruits have three forms: human form, beast human state, and beast form. Because of their tragic experiences in childhood, the two sisters knew that beauty would bring endless trouble, so they had been maintaining their beast human state. So even Ron had never seen their adult appearance in the anime. Are they really that talented? Ron was speechless. This was faster than mastering a devil fruit power. They were practically innate camera movement users. At this moment, Yellow Snake Marigold also finished her video and quickly uploaded it, eager for Ron to evaluate it. Don't rush, let me see first. Ron clicked on the video, and he instantly felt like he was back on Earth, scrolling through TikTok. Marigold's physique was sturdy, the type that couldn't lose weight no matter what. Her personality was fiery. Simply put, she was the tomboy type. But in the video, she was a slim-figured, healthy-skinned, wheat-colored beauty, with a playful ponytail and brownish-yellow hair carrying a hint of wildness. Where was there even a trace of a sturdy girl's appearance? No, Marigold, did you turn on level 10 beauty filter? Ron couldn't help but ask. This made Marigold a bit embarrassed. She shyly covered half her face and whispered, there's no level 10 beauty filter, it's just a little bit of beauty filter. Ron. Clearly, this was another talented individual, an innate beauty filter user. Remember to remove your abilities and return to your normal state when filming videos in the future, otherwise people will be scared away by you. The two women quickly nodded in agreement. After all, it was just filming videos, nothing much. As long as it could help Ron, they were willing to repay this life-saving kindness. Ron-sama, what kind of video should I film? Hancock looked at Ron affectionately, not forgetting to send him a private message to ask. Hancock, why did you also send me a private message about what you just said? Ron asked helplessly. Hancock smiled shyly. Of course I want to record every minute and every second with Ron-sama. Quote. Ron suddenly felt dizzy, but he didn't forget the main point. You are already very beautiful. You don't need any filming techniques at all. Just stand there, shoot a few seconds of video casually, and you can attract everyone. Hearing Ron praise her like this, Hancock nearly fainted from happiness, but she held on. Her pretty face was so red it looked like it could drip water. I will follow Ron-sama's arrangements. Then, Ron helped Hancock film a video. The video content was simple. Hancock sat on the throne, the camera passed through the screen, and Hancock's cool profile slowly appeared, followed by her stunning face and cold eyes. 15 seconds, perfect. This video will definitely go viral. Ron was very confident, because in the anime, whenever Hancock appears, everyone is captivated by her beauty, except for those with strong willpower, of course. However, Ron had already thought of a way to deal with these people. As of now, Ron's gains had exceeded his expectations. Ron-sama, what does go viral mean? Hancock and the three sisters were all very curious. It means you are very popular, that many people like you, Ron explained. Then, in front of the three sisters, Ron purchased 30,000 more phones. This action truly shocked the three sisters again. This is my ability, don't be surprised, Ron said. The three sisters were not surprised. After all, there were plenty of strange abilities in the pirates' world, and being able to conjure phones seemed not that strange either. Ron gave them a task. Distribute all these phones to the women of daughter country, one for each person. If it's not enough, come ask me for more. This isn't free. The task every day is that each person must film 3 videos. The quality must be high, the kind that can attract men to watch. For every 1,000 likes a video gets, I will give an extra 1,000 berries. Remember to have them use stage names, like Exener, Mayor, etc. Don't use their real names. On one hand, long names are hard to remember, and on the other hand, it avoids exposing their identities. At first, the three sisters found it fun, and names didn't really matter. But upon hearing they had to film videos every day, they were a bit unhappy. Because they weren't idle. If they filmed videos every day, how would their country survive, how would they eat? They couldn't possibly live by filming videos, right? But when they heard that Ron-sama was going to give them money, their eyes lit up. Ron-sama, I didn't mishear, did I? You're going to give us money for filming videos? Marigold roared in her thick voice. Green Snake Sandersonia was also stunned. Ron-sama, will people give us likes? Hearing this, Hancock took her hands off her phone and looked up at Ron. As the Empress of Daughter Country, she had the responsibility to lead the entire country to survive. I know your concerns, Ron then explained. The matter of selling phones has been handed over to others, and soon a large number of users will enter TikTok. As long as your video quality is high, it will definitely attract a large number of people to follow and like. I'll teach you some other things, like clothing. There's leopard print, high socks, JK uniforms, little mother dresses, and so on. You can film with different variations. The three of them listened with great interest, then asked what the clothes looked like. Ron drew the design blueprints for their reference. Once they referenced them, the two sisters were immediately inspired. In less than half an hour, they had rushed out a set of JK. Hancock directly took it and put it on, then smiled sweetly at Ron. Ron-sama, how is it? Does it look good? HMPH. This Empress will not take JK photos for others to see. This Empress will only show them to Ron-sama alone, Sandersonia said with a pout. Her fair skin, golden ratio devilish figure, and extreme visual impact caused Ron's nosebleed to surge, almost gushing out on the spot. It was too powerful. He then quickly fled, fearing that if he stayed for even one more second, he would explode on the spot. Very good, you are all very talented. Keep it up. Ron didn't need to say anything, he didn't need to teach them anymore. As long as he promotes the mobile phone to the entire daughter country, lets them all make videos for him, and outputs a large number of high-quality videos, he doesn't believe that those marine and pirates won't get addicted. The next day, Morgans, having nothing to do, casually picked up his mobile phone and opened the selfie function out of boredom. He faced the mirror, striking various poses he considered handsome, sometimes pouting to act cute, sometimes making a victory sign, and sometimes putting on a thoughtful expression. On the phone screen, his face was captured from various angles, each one radiating confidence. After taking over 100 photos, he reluctantly exited the camera app. Looking at the screen full of handsome pictures, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but rise, and he secretly felt proud. Then, he started watching videos again. The content on TikTok was now richer than ever, with many videos shot by Morgans himself and members of his news agency. However, as he was scrolling, a video suddenly caught his eye, making his eyes light up instantly. In the frame, a beautiful woman wearing a cool bikini appeared on a golden and beautiful beach. The petal decorations on the bikini were particularly eye-catching in the sunlight, and although they struggled to cover the important parts, they also outlined her graceful figure. With a sweet smile on her face, she walked towards the camera with light steps, as if she was about to walk out of the screen and get close to him. My goodness, where did this kid Ron go? Morgans couldn't help but exclaim, how did he find such a group of high-quality beauties to make videos? Is this Amazon Lily? Did Ron go to the daughter country? Is this his so-called driving force? While marveling, he silently liked the video, his fingers nimbly sliding across the screen, leaving 3 small red hearts in the comments section, quickly clicking the follow button, and then scrolling past this video that made his heart pound. Immediately after, another video appeared, this time featuring a green-haired beauty. Unlike the previous one, the shooting angle of this video seemed to be a full 360 degrees without blind spots, allowing Morgans to appreciate her beauty more closely. Suddenly, the screen flashed, and the green-haired beauty's clothes underwent a magical change. The originally small and lovely outfit instantly transformed into a floral dress, making her look fresh and charming like a girl next door, which was refreshing. Incredible, incredible, is this a devil fruit ability? Can she even change clothes? Morgans' eyes widened, full of surprise and disbelief. In fact, Ron had previously introduced him to the various functions of TikTok, but at that time, he was focused on the camera and didn't take it to heart at all. Now, seeing these magical video effects, he realized the wonderful things he had missed. Morgans carefully examined the woman in the picture and quickly recognized her as Green Snake, one of the 9 snake pirates' sisters. Tisk tisk tisk, she usually shows herself in her beast form like me, but I didn't expect her to be quite beautiful after changing clothes, hee hee. Although he was teasing, a hint of admiration flashed in his eyes. Immediately, he didn't hesitate to casually click the follow button. Just like that, Morgans was immersed in the world of TikTok, scrolling through videos one after another. His fingers slid quickly across the screen, but his eyes were fixed on every frame, afraid of missing any exciting moments. It wasn't until he scrolled to the video of Empress Hancock that his movements instantly stopped, and he was frozen in place, unable to move anymore. The Empress stood there, elegant and noble, her devil fruit ability adding an extraordinary charm to her, and her own beauty was breathtaking. Just standing there, she seemed to possess a magic that could make countless people fall in love with her. Morgans' eyes instantly turned into 2 sparkling little hearts, the corners of his mouth slightly turned up, and he had a look of infatuation on his face, as if the whole world had disappeared, leaving only the Empress in the video. He didn't hesitate to enter simp mode, frantically liking the video, his fingers tapping the screen rapidly. Then, he quickly left an enthusiastic message in the comment section, Empress Hancock, forever goddess. At that moment, his world was only the Empress, and everything else became insignificant. This state continued until his subordinate came to report on work. Morgans only woke up from that infatuated state, reluctantly put down his mobile phone, and sent his subordinate away. He looked at the time and was immediately stunned, it was already 7 o'clock in the evening. I just watched videos for a while, how did it get dark? Since things had come to this, he could only eat first. Soon after, delicious food was served. Morgans sat at the dining table, eating with big bites while continuing to watch videos. He couldn't help but exclaim, "This mobile phone is simply too practical, you don't need to change film frequently for taking pictures, and the pixel clarity is astonishing. The key is that you can zoom in by dragging with 2 fingers, which is simply comparable to a telescope. My goodness, if this thing were published in the newspaper." The more he spoke, the more excited he became, his eyes sparkling with light. However, as he was speaking, he suddenly froze, looking at the mobile phone in his hand with a bewildered expression, and then at himself in the mirror. He looked like an idiot now. "I'm such an idiot." He slapped his head hard, instantly realizing, mobile phone. Isn't the mobile phone big news? There was once a piece of truly big news in front of me, but I didn't cherish it properly. Now that I see it, I regret it deeply. If God could give me another chance, I would definitely say 3 words, big news. This line was also learned from a video. Morgans was so excited he almost jumped up. He watched many videos, and his favorite was the beautiful women from the daughter country, each one beautiful and with a pleasant voice. Then, Morgans immediately gathered all his employees and began to figure out how to write the big news about the mobile phone. This would be a report that would shake the entire world, and he and his news agency would be at the center of this storm. The news coups, who sold newspapers daily, had a lot more tasks these days. For islands without a fixed newspaper selling point, news coups would sell phones when passing by or flying over pirate ships. Although these pirates were brutal, they shared one consensus: news coups were sacred and inviolable. They would pay honestly, and no one ever dared to owe a news coup money. On certain islands with fixed newspaper selling locations, they would also place the phones there for centralized sale. The price was clearly marked, 200 belly per unit. This price wasn't expensive for most people, and for pirates and those with some status, it was practically free. Marineford, Marine Headquarters Newsstand. Regarding the daily newspapers, the Marine Headquarters base had a yearly subscription, so news coups would deliver a large quantity of newspapers there every day. Today was no exception, except that today's news coup brought not only newspapers but also 100 phones. Before this, Morgans had promised these news coups a reward of 10 belly for carrying 1 phone, with more work earning more. But 100 phones was its limit. The weight of a single phone wasn't much, but 100 combined was an unusually heavy burden for the news coup. Cuckoo. The news coup tilted its head, letting out a soft query. "Got it. Here's your payment for delivering the newspapers. And here, this one is for delivering the phones," the newsstand attendant said, handing the money to the news coup. Coo. Seeing the money, the news coup immediately became excited, tucked the money securely into its pouch, turned, and quickly flew away. It calculated the time, it could still make another trip. Seeing this, the news agency staff at the newsstand said enviously, "Boss Morgans is really generous, he's never stingy with these news coup brothers." "Heh, don't be envious, brother. Hurry up and sell these phones, we get a commission too." Another person chimed in, looking at the phones displayed on the counter as he spoke. "Even though these phones aren't expensive, it's not easy to get the Marines here to buy into a new gadget." He shook his head, a little worried. The other person disagreed. He opened a phone, tapped on the Douyin app, and held the screen up to the other person, grinning. "Brother, look what this is." What could it be? "It's just the news we film, isn't it?" Although he said that, he couldn't help but glance at the phone screen. With just one look, his gaze fixed there, unable to move away. His breathing gradually quickened, and his heart pounded. When did this exist? This one is beautiful, this one is also beautiful, hurry and follow me. I want to follow her, he said eagerly. There's also the Empress. But I advise you not to look, we still have work to do today, the other person reminded. The man immediately took out his phone, followed those few beautiful women, and then nodded in strong agreement. "You're right. The Empress is the recognized most beautiful woman in the entire sea. I heard Boss Morgans just glanced at the Empress yesterday, and it got so dark he couldn't see," the other person joked. Quote. The two chatted idly. Soon, a Marine walked over and shouted, "Hey! One copy of today's newspaper." The person who came was Helmeppo. After Grandpa Garp brought him and Kobe back to the Marine base, they had been serving as chore boys. They did small tasks, and buying newspapers was a common occurrence. Seeing a customer, the two in the shop immediately perked up and politely took out a newspaper to hand to him. Then, as the other person was about to leave, they quickly took out a phone and promoted it. Brother, do you want to buy a phone? Grand opening special. Buy it with a newspaper and get a 50% discount. Phone. Helmeppo was stunned. He had clearly heard the word phone for the first time and didn't know what it was. However, hearing that he could get a 50% discount if he bought it with a newspaper, he was tempted. Adhering to the principle that it's a fool not to take advantage of a bargain, he took 2 steps back, came back, looked at the two of them, and asked curiously, "What do you mean? What's this new gadget, a phone?" Seeing that this Marine had stopped and looked interested, the two were immediately overjoyed. They quickly stepped forward, took out a sample unit, and began demonstrating the phone's features. Brother, this is a phone. Its function is very simple. Entertainment. Entertainment. That's right, look at this. As he spoke, the attendant tapped on the Douyin app. As a large musical note flashed, a beautiful woman in revealing clothing immediately appeared on the screen. The video showed a forest. Sunlight filtered through the gaps in the layers of green leaves, softly scattering onto the forest path. This picture, it's so realistic. Helmeppo couldn't help but exclaim. Suddenly, the video zoomed in, and the bikini-clad beauty was magnified. Her fair skin, willow leaf eyebrows, every frown and smile were breathtaking. She plucked a pink flower with her slender fingers, sniffed it gently, and instantly bloomed a stunning smile. Helmeppo's breathing immediately became rapid. When he was a delinquent, he didn't have the mind to look at these things, he just played with dogs and pets. And there wasn't much to see in the small town. Now, seeing the beautiful woman in front of him, he knew what true beauty was. Even Kobe would probably be amazed if he saw this. Don't rush, brother, there's this too. Seeing his reaction, the attendant knew this sale was secured. Quick, quick, what else is there, tell me quickly. Helmeppo urged, his tone anxious as if he would lose something the next second. The attendant smiled slightly, deciding to use the killer move. But he himself looked away, not watching the video, otherwise, he wouldn't sell anything today. Just as Helmeppo was waiting, the attendant's finger gently slid, and a video of Empress Hancock appeared. The Empress was simply sitting quietly on her high throne, her gaze cold, looking down on everything, full of dominance. Her proud posture made it seem as if she was the ruler of this world, unmatched by anyone. Hiss, Helmeppo gasped, his eyes instantly widening. Empress Hancock, so beautiful, he murmured, his voice full of shock and infatuation. Goddess, my goddess. His eyes had already turned into 2 little hearts, and his heart was beating uncontrollably and violently, even jumping out of his chest at one point. The attendant looked at his infatuated expression and chuckled internally. The appeal of this phone was even stronger than gold. After silently counting for 2 seconds, the attendant chuckled and pressed the screen off button. Click, and the phone screen went black. Ah, my goddess, Helmeppo screamed. This forced termination was too painful. Quickly open it, I want to see my goddess again, he urged anxiously, his eyes full of eagerness. But the attendant was unmoved. Instead, he put the phone away and pointed to the sign next to it, which read, "To continue watching, please purchase a phone. New product sale promotion. Buy with a newspaper and enjoy a 50% discount on the phone purchase. Don't miss this opportunity, it won't come again. 200 belly, take your goddess home. 200 belly, you're not kidding, are you?" Helmeppo's eyes widened, looking at the shopkeeper with disbelief. The shopkeeper glanced at him disdainfully and snorted, "Our little shop doesn't do credit. Fair dealing for all." Then, he put on a fawning smile and continued to introduce the phone's other basic functions. Look, this can take pictures and there's a time display here. In case you ever get lost, you can still tell the time, right? Helmeppo scratched his head and said thoughtfully, that sounds very reasonable. Being able to take pictures is great, and the time display is also important. Kobe can time his push-ups. Also, the biggest advantage of this phone is that it doesn't need charging, the shopkeeper added. Doesn't need charging. Helmeppo's eyes showed a hint of hesitation. He clearly didn't quite believe it, but seeing the shopkeeper's confident demeanor, he couldn't help but feel a bit of trust. It really doesn't need charging. This is technology that's 10,000 years ahead of the world. It won't need charging until you die, the shopkeeper thumped his chest and guaranteed. Helmeppo's mouth twitched slightly, and he cursed inwardly, what the hell does, "won't need charging until I die," mean? But he was still tempted. Of course, What he was interested in wasn't the bikini beauties, pure young ladies, enchanting little sisters, domineering empresses, and so on displayed on it. What he was interested in was the phone's camera function. If he went on missions in the future, he could completely photograph all sorts of intelligence. It would be much more useful than a den mushi. And it wasn't expensive, only 200 belly. He could afford it by skipping a meal. Then, with a slap, Helmeppo slammed 200 belly onto the table without hesitation and said loudly, "I'll buy it." Buy two. He'd buy one for Kobe too. Kobe would definitely like this product called a phone. 2 units, deal. The shopkeeper took out the packaging and manual, stuffed them all into the box, handed it to Helmeppo, and enthusiastically saw him out the door, come back often in the future, and help us spread the word. Helmeppo nodded slightly. After walking out the door, he immediately took out the newly bought phone, couldn't wait to open Douyin, registered his account, and then started scrolling through videos. When he saw beauties appear on the screen again, his constantly tense nerves suddenly relaxed. Phew, that feels good. He walked and watched, his finger constantly sliding. One beauty after another scrolled past, and he followed all of them. You can leave comments here too. He saw the comments section, which was filled with vulgar comments like, "Beauty is so pretty, beauty I love you." These guys are all so vulgar. They're not as cultured as I, Helmeppo. While complaining, he wasn't idle either. He typed a line and left a comment. "I, Helmeppo, am studying at Marine Headquarters. While I wouldn't say I'm extremely handsome, I am a fine figure of a man. I observe that the young lady is as beautiful as a celestial being, and her dance is graceful. You and I are a perfect match, a match made in heaven. I wonder if you would be willing to follow me back." After typing, Helmeppo looked at his comment and felt very satisfied. He was about to continue scrolling when he suddenly looked up and realized he had already reached the base. How did I get back so quickly? I was clearly slowing down. Helmeppo walked in helplessly. He returned to the barracks and saw Lieutenant Commander Bogart washing up, preparing to eat breakfast. He hurried over and saluted. "Lieutenant Commander Bogart, this is today's newspaper." Bogart didn't even lift his head, continuing to brush his teeth, and asked indistinctly, "Is there anything new today?" Report, the Straw Hat Kid and his crew have defeated the Arlong Pirates and the Creek Pirates, and are estimated to be heading to Logatown. Helmeppo said loudly. PFF'd. Bogart spat out his mouthwash abruptly, looking at Helmeppo in shock. "Who told you to talk about the Straw Hat Pirates? I was asking about others." Then there's nothing else. Helmeppo shook his head. "So what happened with the Straw Hats?" Bogart pressed. Helmeppo, "I don't know." "All right, go train." Bogart put down the newspaper and waved his hand. Helmeppo, uncharacteristically, didn't linger for a bit. Usually at this time, he would ask more questions about how to quickly improve his strength, but today he didn't. This made Bogart feel a bit strange. He turned to look at him, shook his head, washed his face, and muttered to himself, "Is this kid finally willing to rest?" Bogart felt very relieved, because constantly training with a tense body and mind wouldn't have a good effect and could even cause physical injury. Appropriate rest and balancing work and leisure is the correct way to train. Saying this, he picked up the newspaper beside him and quickly walked towards Garp's office. On the other side, Helmeppo didn't go training today but returned to the dormitory. Because it was his turn to rest, but according to the usual situation, ever since his father was taken hostage and nearly killed, the word, rest, had not existed in his life. It had always been training, and more training. Training blindly won't have a good effect. You need to balance work and rest, otherwise, training will eventually lead to big problems. Helmeppo nodded inwardly, then took out his phone and opened Douyin. Looking at the scantily clad beauties on the screen, he felt like he was floating, completely relaxed. This is life. Comment, like, save, follow, all in one go. Helmeppo skillfully scrolled the screen, and before he knew it, it was already dark outside. With a bang, the dormitory door was suddenly pushed open. Kobe, covered in sweat, came in panting with 2 portions of food in his hands. "Helmeppo, what's wrong with you today? Not only are you not training, but you even made me get your food. This isn't like you." Saying this, Kobe put the food on the table and went to quickly clean himself up. He had trained all day, was covered in sweat, and his clothes were soaked. And after eating, he still had to do extra training for himself. Otherwise, how could he surpass others with the same training volume? Only by putting in over 200 times the effort of others can you succeed. But when he finished showering and came out, he found the 2 portions of food still sitting there untouched. Instead, Helmeppo was lying on the bed, his body occasionally twitching, and making, hee sounds, doing who knows what. Hey, Helmeppo, what are you doing? Are you sick? Kobe called out, confused. Seeing that Helmeppo didn't respond, he became even more puzzled and walked over to Helmeppo's bunk. Immediately, he saw the phone and the pink bikini beauty on the screen doing the wiping the glass dance, while Helmeppo was also twisting his body along with the music. What is all this? Kobe's face instantly turned red. Helmeppo, you're actually watching these. Chapter 11. Kobe, when did you get back? Helmeppo finally snapped back to reality. Seeing Kobe and smelling the food, his stomach grumbled uncontrollably. Hiss, when did it get dark? After glancing at Kobe, he smiled mysteriously. Haha, this is good stuff. Come on, let's eat first. Saying that, he jumped off the bed, dragged 2 stools to the dining table, took out a beautifully packaged box, and grinned at Kobe. Come on, Kobe, this is a phone I bought for you. A phone. Kobe took the square object from Helmeppo's hand and stared blankly at the packaging box, as if he still couldn't believe what was in front of him. He carefully unwrapped the packaging, revealing the exquisite phone inside. Helmeppo urged from the side, quick, open it and take a look. A phone is a good thing. I'll teach you how to use it. It's 50% off today, maybe the price will go up tomorrow, Helmeppo added, a hint of excitement in his tone. Kobe couldn't resist Helmeppo's enthusiasm and felt bad about rejecting his good intentions. After all, a gift from a brother, no matter how small, is a sign of affection. He held the phone, feeling its cool touch. It was just the right size and felt very comfortable in his hand. You've been playing with this thing all day? Kobe asked with some curiosity. What? This thing, and that thing. It's called a phone, and from now on, it's my good friend, Helmeppo said seriously. Then he guided Kobe through the user manual, giving him a basic understanding of the phone's functions. Just these few things left Kobe speechless with shock, his eyes wide. A phone can take pictures. And you don't need to change film no matter how many pictures you take. And you don't need to carry a visual den mushi. Kobe could hardly believe his ears. Such a small gadget, yet its functions were so powerful. He could even carry it in his pocket without affecting his movement. Ha, I told you you'd like this thing. Helmeppo laughed proudly, continuing to explain how to use the phone. Besides taking pictures, you can also record videos, which means storing the images so you can play them back anytime without having to connect to a screen. Amazing, it's too high-tech. Kobe held the phone affectionately, casually taking 2 pictures, his eyes full of shock. The clarity is so high definition, the display is exactly the same as what you see in reality. Helmeppo smiled proudly. Try using 2 fingers to spread the picture. Kobe did as he was told, and suddenly his eyes were filled with surprise. It can even zoom in on pictures. That's incredible. Then, Kobe suddenly stood up and solemnly apologized to Helmeppo. I'm sorry, Helmeppo. I sincerely apologize to you. At first, when I saw you watching those videos of women not wearing clothes, I thought you were that kind of person. I didn't expect that I was being narrow-minded, Kobe said awkwardly. Thank you for giving me such a good gift. This gift must be very expensive, right? How much is it? I'll pay you back. Helmeppo looked wistful. HMPH. Although I, Helmeppo, was a scoundrel before, I've long since turned over a new leaf. How could I be someone who lusts after beauty? I didn't go out all day today, not because I was watching those videos, but because I was studying how to use the phone. And this thing isn't expensive. Today is the store's grand opening, it only cost 200 belly. Don't worry about it. Kobe's eyes were filled with emotion. Helmeppo was truly a good person. Of course, besides these uses, the phone also has powerful entertainment functions. While we train hard every day, we also need to balance work and rest, and relax our minds and bodies. Only then can training be twice as effective with half the effort, Helmeppo continued. Kobe nodded silently. Although Helmeppo was usually a slacker, what he said made a lot of sense. Training relentlessly would only increase stress, appropriate relaxation was also necessary. Quick, turn on the phone. I'll help you register a Douyin account, Helmeppo said, telling Kobe to take out his phone. The side button is the power button. Kobe nodded, indicating he hadn't forgotten how to turn the phone on and off. He pressed the side button, and the phone screen lit up. What is doing? Why do I need to register? Kobe asked, a little confused. Don't worry, I'll teach you slowly. Tap on the Douyin app, find My. Under Helmeppo's guidance, Kobe registered a Douyin account in less than 3 minutes. Haha, I have a few recommended beauties here. Do you want to follow them? Helmeppo asked with a sly grin. No. Kobe quickly waved his hands. He was practically terrified of beauties after his time on Alvida's pirate ship. Hearing the word, beauty, reminded him of those dark days. I'd rather watch the news. The news on it is quite interesting, Kobe said. TCH, boring. Oh right, tap the plus at the bottom, you can post videos, but remember not to leak private information, Helmeppo reminded him. Oh, okay, I understand, Kobe nodded. Alright, you play with it. I'm going out for a walk. I haven't been out all day, I'm about to suffocate, Helmeppo said, already pushing open the dorm door. Kobe said, oh, and waited until he was sure Helmeppo had gone far away before carefully closing the door and starting to scroll through Douyin. At first, every time he scrolled to a video of a beauty, he would immediately swipe past. But then, he suddenly wondered what he was so afraid of. HMPH. I'm no longer the coward I used to be, he thought, and had already swiped to the next video. And this video featured a beauty dressed simply. She was wearing a white long gown and a white veil, sitting in a pavilion practicing archery. Bending the bow, drawing the string, shooting, hitting the bullseye. All the movements were completed in one smooth motion. Thank you, gentlemen, for watching. Next time, Exener will perform shooting 3 arrows at once. If you like Exener, could you please help by following? Thank you, gentlemen. The video ended there. So amazing. Kobe's mouth was half open in surprise. That distance was at least 200 meters, and she could still hit it. He had thought the other party was just putting on a show with her beauty, performing some superficial moves, but he didn't expect her to have real skill. It's just a follow, I'll follow, Kobe thought, and casually tapped the follow button. And with this action, all the videos that followed were of beauties showcasing their talents. For example, beauties taming fierce beasts, hunting other fierce beasts, and some beauties performed a long spear dance with immense attack power, capable of splitting mountains and rocks. Kobe gasped in admiration repeatedly. By now, he had followed no less than dozens of beauties, all of whom were masters in a particular area. Incredible. Too incredible. This is good. This is good too, followed. This is armament hockey. Where are these beauties from, to have mastered armament hockey at such a young age? Just as Kobe tapped the follow button again, Helmeppo pushed the door open with a bang. Kobe, yes. Helmeppo started to speak, then suddenly saw the beauty on Kobe's phone and froze. The two stared at each other, wide-eyed. Kobe looked at Helmeppo, then at his phone, his face instantly turning red. He immediately started explaining, Helmeppo, listen to me, it's not what you think. Ha ha ha. Helmeppo burst out laughing and walked over to Kobe, patting him on the shoulder, showing an expression that all men understood. Kobe, no need to explain, I get it. Then, he solemnly nodded at Kobe and gave him a thumbs up of encouragement. Men are boys until they die, but you still need to be moderate, Kobe. Kobe. The next day, at the newsstand next to the naval base, 2 clerks yawned and groggily opened the door. Sales yesterday were mediocre. Apart from that, idiot, only 1 or 2 units were sold. They thought phones weren't very popular and even wrote a self-criticism report overnight, which is why they opened a bit later today. But as soon as they opened the door, they were stunned. There was a massive crowd gathered outside. All wearing the same uniform. Marines. What's going on? Is Boss Morgans being arrested because he owes money? One clerk muttered softly. I don't know. Why are so many Marines here? We haven't done anything illegal. The other clerk also looked bewildered. While the 2 clerks were still confused, the Marines who had been waiting outside for 2 or 3 hours saw the newsstand open and immediately rushed over. A phone. Give me one. A Marine held money in his hand and slapped it directly onto the clerk's face. Hurry up, I've been waiting for so long. They're really open. Why did they open so late today? Morning drills are about to start. Yeah, I almost made me late. Quickly, Give me 2 phones. Let me go first. I've been waiting for 4 hours. Kobe, I wanted to watch longer yesterday, but he wouldn't let me. I have to buy one today so I can watch every day. Goddess Hancock. I never thought I could openly look at Goddess Hancock without fear of turning to stone anymore. What are you standing around for? Hurry up and give me a phone. If the large crowd hadn't been afraid of collapsing the newsstand, they would have rushed inside long ago. The 2 clerks immediately realized that these guys were here to buy phones. Oh my god. Luckily, they hadn't submitted the self-criticism report they prepared. They never expected their luck to turn around and the phones to sell like hotcakes. Don't rush, line up one by one. One clerk quickly started maintaining order. Limited spots, no purchase for those not in line. The other clerk went inside to get the phones and also bundled the newspapers to sell along with them. After all, it was all profit, and it would boost newspaper sales too. Newspaper plus phone grand opening special, 200 berries. Here, this is your phone. The manual is inside. Please take it. The Marine saw his new phone, snatched it immediately, and joyfully tore open the phone box. Seeing the brand new phone, he casually tossed the phone case away. As for the manual, he didn't even look at it. Because yesterday, Kobe had already demonstrated the phone's powerful features over a dozen times, making them incredibly envious. Ha ha ha, a phone. I finally bought a phone. Beauties, goddesses, Hancock, they're all mine now. I'm going to register a Douyin account right now and follow her. The other Marines all looked at him enviously, then urged those in front to buy faster. I bought one too. It really is only 200 berries, that's too cheap. I bought one too. Holy crap, the phone camera is really clear, and you can zoom in. Now I can peek into the girls' dorm. Hiss. Quickly shut up. Is that something you can say? The person quickly closed his mouth, looked around, and saw everyone glaring at him. He immediately realized he had said the wrong thing and scurried away sheepishly. The popularity of the phone was completely different from yesterday, it was like 2 extremes. Sales were also very fast. In just a moment, about 300 to 400 phones were sold out. It was also thanks to the hard work of the News Coup brothers, otherwise, they wouldn't have lasted even 3 to 5 minutes before selling out. Brothers at the back, no need to queue anymore. Today's phones are sold out. Please come back tomorrow, the clerk said with some regret, as the more phones they sold, the more commission they received. What? Sold out? The Marines at the back were stunned. They had woken up before dawn to wait at the store entrance and had even queued for over 10 minutes, only to be told they were sold out. What kind of lousy store is this? The phones are sold out, but why aren't the newspapers sold out? Quickly get us another 100 units. The Marine headquarters base doesn't allow hunger marketing. Exactly. Quickly tell your headquarters to send more goods, otherwise, the Marine headquarters base won't need a newsstand anymore. Meanwhile, the Marines who had bought phones shook their heads and sighed, looking disappointed at those who hadn't managed to get one. Look at the quality of you people. The clerk already said the phones are sold out, don't make things difficult for them. Yeah, aren't new phones arriving tomorrow? Just come back and buy one then. Sigh, I just came a tiny bit earlier, and I can't believe I actually managed to snag one. Wow, the beauty on here is really pretty, followed. Saying this, he raised his phone in front of everyone, making it visible to almost everyone, and then decisively clicked the plus sign below the beauty's video avatar to follow her. The Marines who hadn't bought phones were about to explode with anger, looking like they were going to smash the store. The 2 clerks immediately shrank their necks in fear, quickly appeased the crowd, and hurriedly took out a Den Den Mushi to call their boss. Idiot, why use a Den Den Mushi? Just video call the boss directly. One clerk reminded, then opened Douyin, found the boss's private message, clicked the plus sign, and initiated a video call. Beep beep beep. And those Marines looked at the phone in the clerk's hand, wanting to rush up and snatch it, but they held back. Soon, the video call connected. Morgans looked at the 2 guys with displeasure. He had just been meticulously editing a video and was interrupted. You 2 better have a good reason. Seeing their boss angry, the 2 clerks couldn't help but swallow. Boss, the phones. The phones didn't sell, right? Morgans looked as if he had anticipated everything. He didn't blame the 2 from the start but instead comforted them. It's normal for the public to be slow to accept something new like phones at first. But we must maintain an optimistic and professional spirit. We need to constantly explain to them, and once they understand, they will definitely fall in love with phones. Don't you agree? So, maintaining good patience is the key to success. Hearing that Morgans wasn't blaming them but was instead comforting them, the two clerks were moved to tears. They really hadn't followed the wrong boss. No, no, no. Boss, the phones are sold out. They're all sold out. I knew you understood what I meant. Before he could finish speaking, Morgans immediately reacted, his whole body of bird feathers bristling. What did you just say? The phones are sold out. The two clerks cried tears of joy, finally able to stand tall in front of their boss. Yes, boss, you didn't hear wrong, the phones are really sold out. Saying this, they turned the phone camera around. Morgan saw the marine customers crowding the store entrance and was completely stunned. Hiss. The next day, as dawn was just breaking, dozens of news crews flew in formation towards the marine headquarters base, each carrying as many phones as they possibly could. They received a commission for every phone they delivered, so these news crews were as excited as if they had been injected with adrenaline. The income from just these 2 days had already surpassed their total income from the previous 6 months. The phone sales at the marine headquarters base had completely blown up. In front of the newsstand, there was a sea of people, all marine soldiers who had come to buy phones. However, these new recruits were all tight-lipped, cautious to the core, causing the phone craze to temporarily spread only among the lower ranks. Hey, did you hear? The news crews brought more phones today. A marine soldier whispered, his eyes full of anticipation. Shish, keep it down. If the officers find out, we'll be in trouble. Another soldier quickly covered his mouth, looking around warily. Don't worry, as long as we don't say anything, the officers won't know. Yeah, these phones are much more interesting than newspapers, especially that doing, it's simply amazing. Exactly, I almost couldn't sleep last night, just kept scrolling through videos, those beautiful women are just too gorgeous. Shish, stop talking, someone's coming. The two soldiers immediately fell silent, pretending to look elsewhere nonchalantly. Meanwhile, the staff at the newsstand were also incredibly busy. While maintaining order, they quickly handed phones to customers, not forgetting to promote newspapers. Newspaper plus phone, 200 berries, grand opening special. Give me a phone. Hurry, I want to. Don't rush, one by one. The staff were in a flurry, but inwardly, they were all laughing madly. They knew that as long as these phones remained popular, their commissions would keep pouring in. Hey, buddy, more phones arrived today, hurry up and get in line. A soldier patted his comrade's shoulder, his eyes full of excitement. I know, I've been waiting here for a while. I heard the news crews brought even more phones this time. Hope I can buy one this time, I really don't want to wait anymore. As they spoke, the two joined the long queue. However, not far behind them, Vice Admiral Onagumo was observing everything with cold eyes. Frowning, he muttered to himself, what are these soldiers up to? Phones, doing, what kind of magic do these things possess to make these guys so obsessed? He shook his head, turned and left, preparing to go back and deal with these guys who weren't focusing on their duties. Logatown. In the smoke-filled office, Smoker and Tashigi sat in chairs. Ever since the Straw Hat Kid escaped from his grasp last time, Smoker hadn't been happy. If that man hadn't suddenly appeared, how could he have failed? Mr. Smoker, letting the Straw Hat Kid go wasn't your fault, you don't need to blame yourself, Tashigi tried to comfort him. I don't need your comfort, Smoker remained stubborn. However, at this moment, he wasn't concerned about the Straw Hat Kid crossing Logatown to the Grand Line, but rather his mind was full of thoughts about the relationship between the Straw Hat Kid and that man. How did he appear here? This was something he couldn't figure out. As he was lost in thought, the cigar in his hand reached its end. He lit a new cigar, but his peripheral vision unexpectedly caught sight of something Tashigi was fiddling with in her hand. Rectangular, metallic sheen, just the right size to hold in her hand, and from time to time, Tashigi would cover her mouth, trying hard to stifle a laugh. What are you doing? Smoker suddenly asked. The sudden question startled Tashigi. After reacting, seeing Smoker's eyes staring intently at her, her face immediately turned red, and nothing. I saw it. What is that thing in your hand? Why are you playing with it so intently? Smoker asked with a frown. You mean this? Tashigi pointed to her phone, her expression full of confusion. Exactly, Smoker's tone carried a hint of impatience. This is a phone, it's very popular lately. I saw a lot of people bought them, so I bought one to try, and found it's really fun. Tashigi explained. Saying that, she took out her phone, found the camera function, and snapped a picture of Smoker with a click. Senior, look, this is the photo I just took. Tashigi flipped the phone over, and before Smoker could frown and react, she showed him the photo she had just taken. Smoker was a bit impatient, but his gaze casually swept over it. This glance was significant, his eyes immediately became fixated. You just took this. How is it so clear? It's infinitely better than photos taken with a visual den mushi. Tashigi smiled and used 2 fingers to zoom in on the photo, while continuing, and that's not all. Not only can you take photos anytime, anywhere, and the photos are clear, but you can also zoom in, like this. Smoker looked at the enlarged image of himself on the phone, even the scar on his face was clearly visible, and he was greatly shocked. If he wasn't in front of his subordinate, he might have even widened his eyes in disbelief. It's just taking a photo. Why were you laughing nonstop just now? Smoker forcefully suppressed the shock in his heart and cleverly changed the subject. Ha ha ha, Mr. Smoker, these videos on here are too funny. Videos, what's that? Smoker began to suspect that he was out of touch with the times. How could he not understand anything Tashigi was saying? And Tashigi also realized that Mr. Smoker really seemed to not know what a phone was. Mr. Smoker, let me explain it to you. This thing is called a phone, the news crews brought it a few days ago, and it suddenly became popular. She first briefly explained the function of the phone, then began to introduce its entertainment features. The app for watching videos on it is called Douyin app, it's full of fun videos. Tashigi scrolled through the videos, slowly explaining, and after registering your own Douyin account, you can also post videos. As she spoke, Tashigi scrolled to a video of a marine base. Huh. Which marine base mess hall is this? It looks well decorated. Smoker also became interested, although these marines were too bold, they even filmed the marine base. These kids, they're absolutely lawless. Tashigi, however, pouted, somewhat dismissively. It's not that bad, they didn't film anything confidential, they're just sharing some daily life. Smoker let out a cold snort. Immediately after, a figure appeared on the video screen that he was familiar with to the core. Pink long hair, a white marine coat, a beautiful face, a focal point wherever she went. It was Hina. Meanwhile, the voice of the person filming came from the video, and the camera zoomed in. Brothers, today's star is the flower of our marine headquarters base, and the goddess in all our marines' hearts, Colonel Tina. Hee, I bet you're all curious about what she's having for lunch today, guy. Leave a comment below and tell me. Press 1 if you want to see it, press 2 if you really want to see it. Based on the votes, I will decide whether to upload Colonel Tina's eating video slower or faster. As the camera zoomed in, the entire phone screen was filled with Tina's captivating profile. The video ended here. Smoker was so angry that he slammed his fist on the table, took a hard drag from his cigar, and then fiercely exhaled. How dare this fool do this? Filming the private lives at Marine headquarters so openly, isn't this leaking secrets? Tashigi looked at Smoker, a little bewildered. Isn't it just a video of someone eating? Does it warrant this reaction? HMPH. This fool didn't even film the whole video, and he's going to upload it in 2 parts, it's infuriating. Smoker then looked at Tashigi, his ferocious expression startling her, like he was about to eat someone. Tashigi, I order you to immediately go to the comment section and press 2. Tashigi. Seeing Tashigi still frozen, Smoker snatched the phone away directly and left a string of 2s in the comment section, muttering intermittently, hurry up and send the rest. You fool, don't let me find out who you are, or I'll go to Marine headquarters tomorrow and drag you out. Hurry up and send it, you fool. Seeing the somewhat possessed Colonel Smoker, it was unwise for Tashigi to ask for the phone back now. It was better to wait for him to watch the rest of the video. Meanwhile, at the Marine headquarters base, Baramepo looked at the video he posted, and the comment section was frantically pressing 2. He was overjoyed. Ha 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 ha, I'm really a genius. Keep pressing, keep pressing. Even if you wear out your phones, I'll upload the rest of the video tomorrow. Baramepo really enjoyed this feeling of being watched. In just a few days, his follower count had reached 1,500, which was quite astonishing. I'll go see how Kobe is doing. It's a bit strange, I haven't seen him all day. He couldn't still be looking at his phone, could he? Bah, if Kobe falls behind on his training because of me, that would be a great sin. Phones were selling like crazy all over the world, and on some islands, they were even being scalped for exorbitant prices. 200 berries directly soared to 20,000 berries. Some nobles had already started sending people to watch the news pigeons in the sky. Once a news pigeon was spotted, they were to intercept it and buy all the phones it carried. Some nobles even started trying to win over the news pigeons, giving them benefits and building temporary resting places, just to buy phones before anyone else. Because the demand for phones currently exceeded the supply, some newsstands only had 100 units a day, and some had a maximum of 300, causing newsstands to be crowded with large numbers of people buying phones every morning. Morgan's was helpless about this. Transportation speed was already at full capacity, and 200 news pigeons had collapsed from exhaustion yesterday. If they hadn't been completely unable to fly, these pigeons would have kept delivering. There was no choice, the boss was giving too much commission. Boss, we need to think of a way. Phones are selling like crazy in the East Blue, West Blue, South Blue, and even the North Blue. We need to make a fortune from this, a subordinate said anxiously. Yes, if not, we can transport by sea. Merchant ships would definitely be willing to transport, but the price might be high, another person suggested. No sea transport. Currently, our phones are very popular, and their value is incomparable to before. Those pirates will definitely rob them, maybe even more frantically than when they see gold. Someone else retorted. Hiss, that makes sense. Phones are really more valuable than gold right now. Then what should we do? Are we really going to miss the opportunity to make a lot of money right now? A group of people looked at Morgan's, not knowing what to do, and could only wait for the boss to speak. Indeed, phone transportation is a troublesome problem, but it's also not a problem. It's precisely the key to us making money. Morgan's eyes gleamed, and his tone carried a hint of cunning. Not a problem. Then what is the problem? Everyone was confused, looking at each other, then turning their gaze to Morgan's. That's right, we need to keep the market hungry. Otherwise, if it's fed all at once, it will be difficult to continue digesting. So, we need to take it slow. A steady flow is the way to go, Morgan said thoughtfully, rubbing his chin. Then, Morgans took out his phone, found Ron's private message, and initiated a video call. A moment later, the video connected. Ron, I have good news, the phones are selling out. Just as I expected, they are very popular. Morgan said excitedly. I know about the phones. Just keep selling them like this. Don't worry about those who are inflating the prices. Anyway, we have plenty of phones. My only requirement is not how much money we make, but that everyone can afford a phone, Ron said calmly. Morgan's was incredibly touched. He had never seen someone like Ron who viewed money as dirt. I know you don't like money. Don't worry, Morgan's, I'm absolutely reliable in what I do. Saying that, Morgan's chuckled twice, his laughter revealing a hint of malice. You don't care, but I do. You know I can't stand those nobles. This time, I'll make sure they're finished. Oh, Ron also became interested. Aren't those nobles inflating the phone prices to make a fortune? Then I'll massively output phones and sell them all to them, making them think that's all the stock. Then, after a day or two, I'll sell 3 or 4 times the number of phones as before. If I add a discount promotion on top of that, our sales will definitely skyrocket again, and those nobles will lose their shirts in the process. Morgans explained his plan, looking very pleased, as if he could already see the nobles going bankrupt. Ron looked at this guy in surprise. Not many people who could become one of the emperors of the underworld were stupid. Okay, do as you say. Go ahead and cause a stir. Ron then instructed Morgans to tell him before the phones sold out so he could come back and manufacture another batch. After chatting about some other things, the two ended the video call. In the following days, phones continued to sell like hotcakes, and traces of them appeared on many islands. Fuchsia Village, Kokoyasi Village, Logatown, and the sea restaurant where Sanji grew up. As long as a news pigeon could reach a place, there were signs of phones. Coupled with easy-to-understand user manuals, many people learned how to use phones and even registered their own Douyin accounts and posted videos. This led to more and more videos on Douyin, making it much richer than the single videos at the beginning. For example, there are videos of people recording their lives, taking casual photos, living on deserted islands, and even pirates posting videos of their robberies. However, these illegal videos were detected by the system and deleted directly. Of course, the most popular were the suggestive videos from the Amazon Lily. They also had the largest number of fans, and while posting videos every day, they would occasionally reply to fans' comments to maintain the relationship. Thank you for the follow, Brother Helmepo. Thank you for the follow, Brother Onagumo. Thank you for the follow, Brother Kobe. Thank you for the follows, brothers, thank you. Exener will continue to post videos tomorrow. During this period, the number of phones delivered by the news coups to islands across the sea gradually decreased. Nobles, royalty, and wealthy merchants, sensing an opportunity, began to sell off the phones they had stockpiled. But even though people wanted them, few bought them due to the exorbitant prices. Morgans had long since implemented reforms internally, and from now on, the focus would be on operating the video accounts. Newspapers would not be abandoned, but they would mostly play a supporting role. Furthermore, from now on, anyone who buys a phone must follow their Douyin account, otherwise they won't sell it. They will also tell the buyer that following their Douyin account will give them first-hand information about the sea, which is very worthwhile. He believed that simply by obtaining first-hand information, no one would refuse to follow the newspaper's Douyin account. 3 days later, Morgans felt the time was right, and he sent out all the news coups in one go. These past few days, the news coups had all been feeling uncomfortable, but for the sake of their boss's plan, they could only endure. Until now, all the news coups had received orders to transport as many phones as possible, and the commission for each phone was double what it was before. With this incentive policy, all the news coups were as if they had been injected with chicken blood, completely going crazy. Within just 2 days, the coverage area of phones expanded several times compared to before. Those nobles and wealthy people, anyone who had stockpiled phones, were now facing a complete disaster. They didn't know why the news coups suddenly brought a large number of phones, and they were even cheaper than before, only 100 berries. Morgans, how many phones does this guy have? He's eating the meat himself, not even leaving us a drop of soup, the fool. I saved money for decades, and now it's all gone. Quote. However, these curses did not reach Morgan's ears. For him, money was just a number at the moment, he was no longer interested in money. Grand Line. In a quiet sea area, the Going Merry was slowly sailing. Suddenly, Luffy's wails and Usopp's pleas were heard from the ship. Nami, please, just buy one phone. Luffy lay on the ground, hugging Nami's leg, his eyes full of longing. Yeah, even the old man at Reverse Mountain has a phone, it must be fun. Usopp also pleaded, hugging Luffy, with a similar pitiful expression. Everyone else has a phone, if we don't have one, we're not qualified pirates. Luffy added, as if a phone was essential equipment for a pirate. The two knelt on the ground, looking at Nami pitifully, hoping she would relent. HMPH, do you know how expensive phones are now? They've been hyped up to 20,000 berries by those people. Nami was furious and punched both of them hard, then said through gritted teeth, if only we had bought 100 at that time. Each phone was only 200 berries, and we could have made 19,800 berries by reselling them. Her eyes instantly turned into little money bags, and she became excited. 100 phones would be 1,980,000 berries. Zoro saw the state of the others, shook his head, and continued to sleep. He disdained things like phones. In his heart, there was only swordsmanship, he wanted to become the world's greatest swordsman. Sanji, meanwhile, had prepared juice for everyone and offered it attentively to Nami. My lovely and charming Nami-san, your juice is here. Thank you, Sanji. Nami took the juice and took a satisfied sip. You're welcome, it's what a gentleman should do. Sanji elegantly turned back and casually placed the remaining juice on the wooden barrel beside him. Usopp quickly went and grabbed a cup and started drinking, while Luffy could reach it easily. After the two finished their juice, their eyes fell back on Nami simultaneously. Before they could even speak, Nami waved her hand impatiently. Stop, don't say any more, I'll buy it. Yay, we're going to have phones too. Luffy jumped up excitedly. Ha ha ha, I, Usopp, will be the first 8,000 underling captain on the entire sea to have a phone. Usopp also cheered. No, I, Monkey D. Luffy, I'm the first pirate king to have a phone. But then, Nami poured a bucket of cold water on them. You can buy a phone, but only when the news coups arrive. The phones in the town are too expensive, we can't afford them. Usopp, Luffy. 3 more days passed like this. They finally saw a familiar figure slowly flying from a distance. News coup. Luffy practically jumped up, reaching out his hand, almost pulling the news coup out of the air. Luffy. With a bang, Luffy's face had a close encounter with the deck, and even half of his face was embedded in the floor. Don't abuse small animals. Nami stepped forward and punched Luffy hard, then kindly apologized to the news coup, took out 200 berries, and said softly, "Hello, Mr. News Coup, we would like to buy a phone." The news coup nodded understandingly, took out an exquisite packaging box from its bag and handed it to Nami, then took 100 berries from her hand. Ah, 100 berries is enough. Nami was a little surprised. Coup, the news coup smiled and nodded, then took out another packaging box, looking at Nami, meaning to ask if she wanted to buy another one. Buy another one, as the captain, I must have my own phone. Luffy quickly shouted. The news coup was startled by Luffy's shout and took 2 steps back after entering. Ah, Nami looked at the news coup apologetically, since it's so cheap, then one for each of us. Mr. News Coup, we want to buy 5 phones, including this one, so please give me 4 more phones. Nami said, taking out another 400 berries and handing them to the news coup. Of course, the news coup would do business that came to them. Moreover, in areas without nearby islands, their commission was higher, not only for transporting the phones, but also for selling them, as well as subsidies for remote areas, high temperatures, winter, bad weather, and so on. After selling 5 phones, the news coup flapped its wings contentedly and flew away to the next stop. And the Straw Hat Pirates, who got their phones, were extremely excited. Usopp even held the phone with both hands and cried loudly, tears of emotion streaming down his face. Nami, thank you so much, you are the best navigator in the world. Wah. Thank you, my dear Nami-san. Sanji's eyes had long since turned into hearts, and he was so happy he was flying, immediately tearing open the packaging of his new phone. Zoro looked indifferent, put the phone aside, didn't even open the packaging, and continued to sleep. Everyone eagerly opened the packaging, and upon seeing the new phone lying inside, a satisfied smile appeared on their lips. Just as everyone was looking at the instruction manual, an untimely voice of doubt suddenly came from the side. Huh. This phone is so hard, I can't even bite it. I can't bend it even if I try hard. It's amazing. Bang, 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 I can't even cut it with a knife. Hiss. Is there a robot living inside? Luffy kept hacking at the phone with his knife, then picked it up and smashed it on the ground, having a blast. The phone's toughness had far exceeded his imagination. It was so much fun. Seeing this scene, Nami completely exploded, instantly enraged. The flames swirling around her were enough to burn through the entire ship. Luffy. Thump, thump, thump. Nami went up and gave him a brutal beating. Luffy's wails and pleas of, "I'll never dare again," constantly echoed on the deck. Half an hour later, Luffy's face was like a pig's head, covered in bumps from the beating. Snap. Nami took a photo of Luffy. HMPH, if any of you dare to damage property again, this is what will happen to you. Usopp and the others instantly trembled with fear. Even their captain couldn't withstand Nami's brutal beating, let alone them. They would definitely be beaten to death. Afterwards, the Straw Hat Pirates began to learn how to use their phones according to the instructions in the manual, then couldn't wait to start browsing videos. Look quickly, there are so many videos on it, it's like watching a projection. Luffy said excitedly, his eyes glued to the phone screen. Beauties, so many beauties. Ah, PFF'd, Sanji couldn't take it anymore. His nosebleed erupted like a mountain flood, and with a PFFT, he was sent flying into the air. While wiping his nosebleed, he exclaimed in surprise, This is too captivating. Am I dreaming? No, this feeling is too real, it's definitely not a dream. With a phone, I can see beauties from all over the world every day. It's simply too blissful. Is the phone heaven? If so, I'm willing to stay in heaven and never leave. If someone were to ask him now what a phone is it a machine? He would light a cigarette, blow out a smoke ring, and say, a phone. No, this is heaven. No one bothered with the excessively bleeding Sanji. At this moment, everyone was grinning and scrolling through videos. There are even videos filmed by the Navy. Maybe we can steal some information. Usopp was full of shock. The impact the phone had on him was simply too great, he was completely immersed in it. Where, let me see. Luffy instantly stretched his neck and ran over, crowding next to Usopp. Usopp immediately blocked the phone and glared at Luffy. You have a phone, why are you looking at mine? How do I look? Usopp, teach me quickly. Luffy held his phone, completely clueless about how to use it, looking at Usopp with a bewildered expression. Usopp sighed and had to teach Luffy how to use the phone first. After all, only by teaching Luffy could he peacefully enjoy his own phone. You need to register your own Douyin account first to post videos. Of course, if you're just watching videos, you don't need to, Usopp explained patiently. How can I not? As the captain, I must post videos. Luffy said firmly, as if this was his duty as captain. At Luffy's strong insistence, Usopp reluctantly helped Luffy register his own Douyin account. Afterwards, Luffy couldn't wait to start browsing videos, while Usopp went off to the side by himself, continuing to immerse himself in the world of his phone. Fuchsia Village. Inside Makino's bar, Deiden was drinking beer in large gulps. There were already over a dozen empty beer bottles in front of her, but she showed no sign of stopping. Makino, another bottle. Deiden shouted loudly. Deiden, is something going on today? Why are you drinking so much? Makino smiled and brought another bottle. Nothing, I'm just happy. I wonder if I can see Luffy and the others on the phone. Deiden picked up the ready beer and took a big gulp. And Ace, it would be great if I could see those two kids. I wonder how they're doing. Makino also nodded. Yeah, who knew this thing called a phone would suddenly appear on the sea? It's simply too convenient. Just then, Deiden suddenly got an idea and looked at Makino excitedly. Makino, what do you think about filming your bar and posting it as a video on Douyin? Can I really do that? Makino looked at Deiden with some uncertainty. Of course, your bartending skills are amazing, you just lack an opportunity. If you can film videos and post them on Douyin, more people will see them and know about your skills. Maybe your bar's business will suddenly boom, Deiden said seriously. Listening to Deiden's words, Makino was also tempted. Then the two hit it off immediately. How about we give it a try? Of course we should try. Makino nodded, a hint of anticipation flashing in her eyes. So, Deiden picked up her phone and started filming Makino's bartending process. Under the lens, Makino operated skillfully. Various drinks intertwined in her hands, creating brilliant colors, like a visual feast. Makino, you're amazing, Deiden said excitedly. Haha, this is just years of experience, anyone can do it, Makino replied with a smile, her eyes full of confidence. After filming, Deiden uploaded the video to Douyin and added a caption, Makino's bar in Fuchsia Village. We have the best bartender here. Come and taste her skills. After the video was uploaded, the two looked at the phone screen with anticipation. Soon, likes and comments began to appear one after another. Wow, this bartending is amazing. A bar in Fuchsia Village. I must go and try it if I get the chance. The proprietress is so beautiful, followed. Makino was immediately flattered. Was she really that amazing? She immediately asked Deiden to reply to these comments, thanking everyone for their support. Syrup Village. Inside the large mansion, several servants were cleaning the courtyard. Under the resting pavilion, Kaya's delicate figure sat there, staying for the entire afternoon, which worried the servants greatly. Miss, does this thing called a phone really have such great magic? You've been sitting here all these days, even playing with this thing called a phone during meal times. Recently, you haven't even been reading your favorite medical books anymore, Mary the butler said, looking at his young mistress with concern. Kaya looked up and smiled sweetly. Uncle Mary, I'm fine. I just want to see if Usopp is on there too. Huh, you can see Usopp on this little thing. Mary was a bit incredulous. Of course you can. These videos on it are filmed and uploaded by people from all over the world. We can see scenery from everywhere just by sitting at home, Kaya explained patiently. Mary was even more astonished. Is it really that amazing? Yes, Uncle Mary, you should all buy a phone too. It's not expensive anyway, only 200 berries. Kaya continued, otherwise, we won't have anything to talk about together, right, Uncle Mary? Looking at his kind and amiable young mistress, Mary could only nod in agreement to have something in common with her. Ah, okay, all right. Amazon Lily. After so many days of Ron's guidance and his personally designed battle robes, the women of Daughter Country have gradually adapted to this new form of entertainment. Among them, some women are naturally skilled in combat, while others are good at various needlework, and all the tools needed for various needlework are already complete. White stockings, high stockings, leopard print, JK, stepmom skirts, etc., have all been produced and put into practice. The actual situation was not bad, with likes, comments, and followers skyrocketing. After all these days, the videos produced by Daughter Country can be considered top-notch. It's clear Ron's hard work wasn't in vain. Wiping the sweat from his forehead, the number of mobile users displayed in the system backend had reached over 10 million. I believe it won't be long before this number explodes geometrically. After all, the pirate's world is too vast, and islands are countless, with an unknown number of people on them. Now the three sisters are tirelessly shooting videos. Among the three, Hancock has the most followers, already over 5 million. Over 10 million users and 5 million followers, this ratio can be said to be very exaggerated. As expected, it's faster with suggestive content, Ron muttered to himself. Then he opened his phone and started scrolling through videos. In recent days, the explosive growth of TikTok videos has been so fast that even Ron was shocked. Nearly 10 million videos are produced every day, averaging 1 to 2 per user. Tisk, 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 what in the world are these videos? Ron frowned after watching a few videos. These videos were simply unbearable to watch, completely lacking any filming skills. This is clearly a travel video, so why is it focused on their own face the entire time? How are others supposed to see the scenery along the way? And this one, it's clearly a food video, but instead of introducing the food, they're introducing their own certificates the whole time. What's the point of that? Wait, who is this kid? He dares to film in a marine base. Colonel Tina. Ron then checked the homepage behind it and found that the registrant was Bailu Maibo, and he already had over 1,000 followers. In the pirate's world, where there was no concept of followers yet, this was very impactful. It could be said that if it were in his previous life, this kid would definitely be material for an internet celebrity. This kid is good. He's already learned to leave hooks at the end of videos. He's a born master of drawing big pictures. Ron couldn't help but laugh out loud. But he'd better release the follow-up videos quickly, otherwise he'll definitely get beaten. Then he continued to scroll through videos. The subsequent videos were all monotonous, lacking any filming skills. Those with skills were purely technical, lacking any content. They were all very mundane, everyday lives, without any unique characteristics. It seems necessary to teach these people the correct way to use TikTok, Ron thought to himself. He then posted a video with the general content. Tonight at 7:30 p.m., the producer will host a live stream to answer some questions about using TikTok. Interested users can join to watch the live broadcast. At the same time, TikTok's powerful new features will be launched. Then Ron used his privilege to push this video to all users and pinned it, ensuring everyone could see it. After making the arrangements, he turned off his phone to see how Hancock's video shoot was going. Inside the Marine headquarters base, in the male dormitory, Bailu Maibo was currently standing as punishment, his face bruised and swollen, while Kobe beside him looked helpless. Standing in front of them was Bogart, his expression very serious at the moment. Is this the mobile phone you've been so addicted to? Bogart's cold questioning made Bailu Maibo shiver instantly. Yes, Bailu Maibo answered softly, his eyes somewhat evasive. HMPH. Everyone in the training class next door has a phone, constantly scrolling through it, even forgetting their training tasks. Bogart grew angrier as he spoke. I thought our training class didn't have phones and had always been diligent and persistent in training, but I didn't expect that you, whom Garp cares about most, would be the first to play with phones. Bogart then took out his phone and found the cafeteria video Bailu Maibo had filmed. What's most infuriating is, Bailu Maibo, you're too immoral. He pointed at the video. Where's your follow-up? It's been how many days? Did you eat the follow-up, you brat? Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Bailu Maibo was stunned, his mind not processing it immediately. He secretly exchanged glances with Kobe beside him, feeling very puzzled. Could it be that Bogart was punishing them not for secretly playing with their phones and neglecting training? Was it because he filmed the video but didn't post the follow-up? Hiss, I was too careless. I should have posted the second half of the video back then. Ah, Bogart, I originally wanted to post the video, but then I got sidetracked by some things, and after that, I just forgot, Bailu Maibo explained cautiously. Forgot. Bogart was stunned. He thought Bailu Maibo hadn't filmed the second half of the video, but it turned out he just forgot to post it. HMPH. You hurry up and post it. Colonel Smoker of Logatown Marine Base even called Marine Headquarters. If I hadn't suppressed it for you, it wouldn't be me here now, but Colonel Tina. What? Colonel Tina? Bailu Maibo was completely stunned when he heard that. He knew very well what the consequences would be if Colonel Tina found out he had secretly filmed her. Fortunately, Bogart suppressed it. Thank you, Bogart, I'll post the second half of the video right away, Bailu Maibo quickly said. Bogart nodded, threw the phone to Bailu Maibo, and turned to leave. Only after confirming Bogart had walked away did Bailu Maibo and Kobe dare to breathe deeply. But Kobe was full of questions at this moment. Bailu Maibo, why do you think Colonel Smoker called Marine Headquarters? Bailu Maibo frowned. He didn't know either, guessing, could it be to accuse me of secretly filming the Marine base? Or to accuse me of secretly filming Colonel Tina? Kobe shook his head, analyzing, it shouldn't be to accuse you, otherwise, if Colonel Smoker made a call to Fleet Admiral Sengoku, we'd both be finished long ago. That's right, then why? Bailu Maibo truly couldn't figure it out. Kobe thought for a moment, and suddenly a light bulb went off in his head, exclaiming, do you think Colonel Smoker might also want to know what's in the second half of the video? Quote. There's a possibility. Bailu Maibo felt that Kobe's guess was spot on. Just as he opened TikTok to post the video, he was stunned to find 99 plus private messages in the backend. Ha ha ha, Kobe, I didn't expect to be so popular. Bailu Maibo was so excited he almost jumped, and Kobe was also puzzled by so many private messages. He told Bailu Maibo to quickly open them and see, only to find that 9 out of 10 messages were cursing him. The only remaining message asked him to state which training class he was in, and if he didn't post the follow-up tonight, they guaranteed they wouldn't beat him to death. Seeing this, Bailu Maibo was so scared he almost peed himself, and immediately posted the second half of the video of Colonel Tina eating. Then he slumped onto the bed, sighing with lingering fear, his face full of it. No, I'm not filming this kind of video anymore, it's too dangerous. Less than 2 seconds after the video was posted, Bailu Maibo's phone suddenly rang. Huh, someone commented so quickly. Bailu Maibo picked up his phone in surprise, quickly opened TikTok, and saw a series of notifications pop up in the message bar. Smoker commented on your video. Smoker liked your video. Smoker favorited your video. Kuroka's liked your video. Tashigi liked your video. Usopp liked your video. Sanji liked and favorited your video. Bailu Maibo's eyes widened as he excitedly looked at Kobe. Kobe, it seems you were right, does Colonel Smoker have something going on with Colonel Tina? Hiss, shut up. Kobe abruptly covered Bailu Maibo's mouth, his eyes filled with terror. Is this something you can just casually talk about? If it gets out, they'll both definitely be dead. Don't spread rumors. If this gets out because of you, we're both dead. Kobe warned in a low voice. Got it, got it. Bailu Maibo nodded hastily. Only then did Kobe release his hand, cautiously looking around. After confirming no one was present, he relaxed. So what do we do now? Kobe said helplessly. Don't post any more videos, otherwise, sooner or later we'll be expelled from the Marine. Bailu Maibo was dejected. These past few days, he had found an unprecedented sense of belonging on TikTok. Suddenly being told not to post videos felt worse than death. Just as he was about to give up completely, a pinned video suddenly popped up on TikTok. Hello, TikTok users, are you still troubled by not being able to produce high-quality videos? Tonight at 7:30 p.m., a TikTok producer will personally host a live stream to answer some questions about using TikTok online. Interested users are welcome to watch the live stream. At the same time, we will select some lucky viewers to connect with for live Q&A. Additionally, TikTok will be launching a powerful new feature. Bailu Maibo watched the video, his eyes growing brighter, as if he had discovered a new continent. He suddenly grabbed Kobe's hand and said excitedly, Kobe, I think we should watch this live stream. Once we learn, we'll be able to produce high-quality videos and definitely won't mess things up like today. And there's a new feature coming out, I wonder what it will be, I'm really looking forward to it. Bailu Maibo said with a look of longing. Kobe looked at him, sighed helplessly, but couldn't help but crack a smile. Alright, let's go check it out then. Meanwhile, inside the Straw Hat Pirate's ship, Sanji was holed up in the kitchen, his eyes full of hearts, his fingers rapidly tapping on the screen, occasionally spurting a nosebleed or two. Beautiful, so beautiful, he muttered excitedly. There's actually such a daring female swordswoman, is that Ms. Rebecca? Even her name sounds so lovely. Sanji's tapping speed was incredibly fast, making sparks fly from the screen. Luckily, the phone's quality was good, otherwise it would have exploded from being poked. Just then, a message popped up in the background. A private message. Sanji clicked open the message interface and found that it was a private message from Rebecca, whom he had just followed. Wow, it's a message from the beautiful Miss Rebecca. I'm so touched. He clicked in without hesitation and saw the prompt. We are now mutually following each other, you can chat. After glancing at Rebecca's captivating profile picture, Sanji couldn't hold back any longer, and his nosebleed gushed out with a poof. Whoa, he shouted excitedly, Miss Rebecca actually followed me. I'm so touched. Sanji was so happy he felt like he was floating on clouds, with flowers everywhere, and countless beautiful women kindly calling his name and running towards him. Suddenly, he sobered up, realizing he had to message Miss Rebecca now to strengthen their connection. He hastily opened the private message, his fingers rapidly typing out a message. Dearest Miss Rebecca, your beauty is like a spring breeze soothing my wounded heart. Would you accept a dinner invitation from Sanji the gentleman? After sending the message, Sanji sat aside, excitedly waiting for a reply, his mind filled with countless fantasies of dining with Rebecca. However, after waiting for a long time, he received no reply. Miss Rebecca must be too busy, Sanji consoled himself. He waited for a very long time again, but still no reply. His heart sank to rock bottom, and he became utterly dejected, losing even the desire to cook. Are gentlemen really so unpopular? He thought dejectedly. Just then, Usopp walked in, his stomach growling, his head drooping as he weakly called out, Sanji, what's for dinner? We're starving. A moment later, seeing that Sanji didn't answer, Usopp finally looked up and saw Sanji sprawled on the ground, looking as if he had a serious illness. Hiss, Sanji, what's wrong with you? You're not dying, are you? Usopp rushed over, shaking Sanji's arm, afraid that if he died, they would starve. Sanji stared blankly at the kitchen ceiling, muttering, Why? Why hasn't Miss Rebecca replied to my message yet? Usopp then looked at Sanji's phone, discovered the automated reply message, and was stunned. Sanji, is there a possibility, maybe, perhaps that message was sent by a bot? He cautiously prompted. Sanji was stunned for a moment before he slowly lifted his head, then his entire being radiated an inexplicable brilliance, as if he had been reborn. Usopp, are you saying that Miss Rebecca isn't not replying to my message, but rather that she hasn't seen it at all? Meaning she still cares about me. Quote. You could interpret it that way, Usopp said against his better judgment, thinking that the other party might have mass followed, but he didn't voice this, fearing it would discourage Sanji. After receiving Usopp's affirmation, Sanji looked radiant, re-energized, and full of drive. Ha, Usopp, tell me quickly what you all want for dinner. Quote. Something simple is fine, but make it quick. We still have to watch the TikTok producers live stream at 7:30. If we're lucky, there might even be some online Q&A. We definitely can't miss it. I heard they're also releasing a new feature, it's definitely going to be awesome. Usopp reminded him, clearly eager to watch the live stream. A new feature, it's definitely necessary to watch that, so let's save time and make something simple for dinner, Sanji said, standing up again and beginning to prepare dinner. Soon, night fell, and the clock hands pointed to 7:30 p.m. Ron had prepared for the live broadcast, choosing a simple room in the Empress's palace. Although the room was basic, it was exceptionally quiet and well lit, ensuring the smooth progress of the broadcast. He carefully checked the phone he would use for the broadcast, confirmed everything was normal, took a deep breath, and started the stream. As soon as the live stream screen opened, a massive number of users flooded in instantly. Pirates, marines, nobles from various countries, members of royalty, all sorts of people gathered, and the live stream room instantly became lively. Most people entered with a curious mindset, clearly still unclear about this new thing called live streaming. As soon as they entered the live stream room, the bullet comments started flooding in. This is so new, I didn't expect Douyin could even live stream. What is live streaming? And why is this gentleman wearing a mask? Is he too ugly? Tashigi, don't comment on others' appearances casually, it lowers the quality of the Marines. Ah, it's Colonel Smoker, my apologies, Tashigi understands her mistake. Ha ha ha, even the dignified Colonel Smoker is using Douyin and watching live streams. Could it be that he only follows videos of beautiful women? Stupid hippo, a bunch of fools, what class are you, to be in the same live stream room as me, King Wapple? King Wapple, never heard of you. Tell me your address, and I promise not to send you some local specialties. You dog thing, where are you from? Say it, and Grandpa promises not to beat you to death. The live stream room was chaotic, with all sorts of voices rising and falling. When Wapple saw the names of these people, he couldn't help but gasp. Qin Zhao of the Hapo Navy, with a bounty as high as 542 million berries. Onagumo, Marine Headquarters Vice Admiral. Each of these names made him tremble with fear. Wapple's legs were shaking with fright, regretting his impulsive comment just now. He tried several times, but found he couldn't retract his message, so he could only choose to remain silent, secretly rejoice that he hadn't exposed his address. Where did these guys come from? They scared the hell out of me. Luckily I didn't reveal my address. Just as everyone was still trying to find Wapple, Ron spoke. At this time, the number of online viewers in the live stream room had already exceeded 100,000. Hello everyone, Douyin users. I am the producer of Douyin and also the host of today's live broadcast. Ron's voice was steady and clear, instantly attracting everyone's attention. The main purpose of this live broadcast today is to explain how to produce high-quality videos. Normally, I also watch videos, but I find that many videos are poorly made and lack any technique. So, I specifically started this live stream today to answer everyone's questions, and at the same time, I will introduce a new feature of Douyin, the shopping cart. Shopping cart. The live stream room instantly erupted, everyone asking the same question, what is the shopping cart? What is it for? Ron didn't waste time and explained directly, I know everyone is confused about the function of the shopping cart. Don't worry, let me explain slowly. Using the shopping cart is very simple. It's a platform for selling things. Everyone can take photos of the goods they want to sell, list them in the shopping cart, set a price, and then trade with other users. Of course, the platform will take a certain percentage of commission from each order. If you buy counterfeit goods, you can file a complaint, and the platform will handle it fairly. It will absolutely not favor anyone because of their identity. After Ron finished speaking, the live stream room was silent. Everyone was trying to digest this completely new concept, thinking about and understanding the use and rules of the shopping cart. 2 minutes later, Ron continued, next, I will select a few lucky viewers for a video call Q&A session. Feel free to ask your questions, including the shooting technique issues I mentioned earlier. I will explain them one by one during the Q&A. Subsequently, Ron enabled the video call permission in the live stream room. Instantly, users applying for calls swarmed in, and the live stream room became lively again. Ron randomly picked an applicant. When he saw the other party's ID, a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes, it was someone he knew. Soon, the video connected, and Nojiko's figure appeared in the live stream room. Her refreshing blue short hair, red hair ribbon, and simple tank top and shorts looked particularly capable yet stylish, giving people a refreshing impression. Welcome, Miss Nojiko, to be the first lucky viewer today, Ron said with a smile. Do you have anything you'd like to ask, or any problems? You can ask them now. Meanwhile, on the Straw Hat Pirates ship, Nami saw her sister Nojiko appear in the live stream and immediately jumped up in surprise, cheering, "It's my sister. It's my sister, Nojiko. I can't believe she was chosen. How lucky." Sanji couldn't help but roar, Nami's sister is indeed as beautiful as Miss Nami. They truly are a pair of beauties. Zoro pouted and muttered in a low voice, "Perverted cook. What, Mosshead, I heard you just now." Sanji instantly became enraged, turning sharply to glare at Zoro. Huh, what did I say, perverted cook? Zoro deliberately acted innocent, looking provocatively at Sanji. I think you want to fight. Sanji rolled up his sleeves, looking ready to fight at any moment. Shut up, I can't hear anything, Nami roared, her voice clearly impatient. Her anger instantly extinguished their fighting spirit, and the scene quieted down. The other members of the Straw Hat Pirates also quieted down and began to focus on watching the live stream. Surprisingly, Luffy was uncharacteristically not causing trouble, but sat quietly to the side, his eyes fixed on the screen, seemingly also attracted by the content of the live stream. And Nojiko, sitting at the table watching the live stream, had completely not expected her luck to be so good as to be the first viewer chosen. She felt both nervous and excited, stuttering a bit as she spoke. Miss Nojiko, no need to be nervous, just think of it as chatting between friends. Ron's voice was gentle and encouraging. You can ask any questions you have, and I will do my best to help you solve them. Meanwhile, the bullet comments in the live stream room were also filled with a friendly atmosphere, countless messages scrolling rapidly. Beautiful lady, don't be nervous, we are all good people. Go, Miss Nojiko, we all support you. Don't be afraid, everyone here is a friend. Quote. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe for more videos.